On a mission, best believe it. Ask for it, you receive.
Ask for it, you receive it. Got it locked, put the key in. Got them looking, yeah, they praying. She like, I like what I'm seeing.
Now we up, they agreeing. Play full, yeah, we eating. Now you can't ignore this feeling when you got it from insane.
Why these niggas be out thin? You found love, why you cheating? She know that I'm never leaving. They want beef, but they vegan.
I don't know why they on that. Get a pack, then I roll that. She got ass, tell her throw that. Start her on, it's a throwback.
Just a straight roll, I don't even pay tolls. The boy a genius and I ain't talking yay though. Been a living legend since I was like a day old. I remember days though, listening to J. Cole.
I remember days though, listening to Drake though. Had to up my profile, had to up my payroll. Getting too high, yeah, you know I had to lay low. Getting too fried, eating on some fucking bake though. Yeah, I came through and you know I had to make do. Yeah, I came through and you know I had to make do. Getting all these dollars, yeah, you know I had to make them. Yeah, I came through, yeah, you know I had to make do.
Beat by Apollo, stop at New Apollos. Cop a Henny sour and I'm puffing Jack Sour. Yeah, I feel a black power, yeah, it's time, it's really ours. It's time to get the bag, yeah, it's time to get the bag, yeah, yeah.
Dollars coming, let me see it. Multi-million, I'ma be it. On a mission, best believe it. Ask for it, you receive it. Dollars coming, let me see it. Multi-million, I'ma be it. On a mission, best believe it. Ask for it, you receive
Something I
it.
dip in the corner and something imported. I'm copping the land at the same where the shores. Beautiful women who time in the mirror to show up the shows and see me perform this. Used to ignore me, I'm all that they hear, but I used to be timid. I don't know what fear is. Just talked to my dog and he told me he got me. I hopped off the line and went straight to go get it. I got us. Building this up out of mortar and brick. The way that it's going, I don't see it ending. The pigment is tinted. I'm really that nigga, go figure. I'm tapped into a higher power, feeling bigger than me. It's centering me. My enemies silent, they see that I'm fire, can't fuck with my energy. I got some real ones on my sideline, abiding by them guidelines. I'm way up near the skyline. You so belly fine, right? Only kings around me, others don't know why I shine bright. Yeah, you hella fine, right? Hey, you looking like the wine and dine type. I'm basking in that limelight. Brody, get your chip stack, I'll teach you. I'm the wise guy. I'm getting right back that shit I'm sending out with vibe wise. You know we good on this side.
Coming, let me see it. On a mission, best believe it. Ask for it, you receive it. Dollars coming, let me see it. Ask for it, you receive.
Good now. We should be good with the sound now. Hopefully. Hold on. Let me check now. Hold on. Yeah, we should be good. I think I'm getting sound now. He said you can't hear. No, I wasn't on mute. My mic channels start to switch up when I'm using other programs. Sorry. So everybody's good now. All right, my bad about that. Look, y'all, today we're gonna be doing NBA power rankings. Talking about the top 5 teams. These are going to be the top 5 teams that I believe can win the chip. The list may surprise you. We're going to also talk about the top 5 teams that I believe will flop or that are just completely overrated. And then we also got to talk about my 2 wildcard teams. When I talk about my 2 wildcard teams, these are 2 teams that I feel can kind of blow up each conference, right? Like, I feel like if they actually have a good year because of the star power on their team, I believe they can kind of throw a monkey wrench into everything that we all predicted. I mean, if you're being honest, last year, the Golden State Warriors threw the monkey wrench. Nobody really had the Golden State Warriors as coming off the year that they had prior. Nobody really had them being championship contenders. A lot of people had the Lakers, the Nets, Clippers. And so this is what we're going to be talking about today. And again, I'm going to run through my list. I'm going to run through my list. I'm going to get through it really quick. I'm gonna give you a brief rundown of why I selected these teams, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and drop the link. Allow you guys to come in. I want you guys to share some of y'all list, and then also weigh in on my list and some of my sentiments on some of these teams. All right, let me get this banner up real quick. All right, FYF Sports, man. If y'all want to support, man, hit the Cash App to support the channel, man. We trying to do big things over here. Multiple platforms. We're on Spotify, Audible, Apple Music, all those things. We have a podcast that we're doing with Abel Mahari, a Sports Nations podcast. We have our second channel, FYF Sports Debates Live. So, again, we got a lot of different platforms, so make sure you guys help out, support the platform. We're definitely trying to grow and do a lot of different things. Brad Vino in the chat, Dante Williams, salute. Joe Mo, Mingo Jester, I see you in there, salute. Appreciate you guys pulling up today. DJ Mixmaster, Double E, as always, man. Big time supporter of the channel. He's always coming through, hitting the Cash App. Appreciate you, Double E, man. I definitely want to make sure I give you your recognition because you are always showing love. Even showing love on days we don't go live when we just dropping uploads. So, I mean, that's definitely support. We got Morrell Johnson. He said you heard about what Eddie Howe said about LeBron in 2011. No, I didn't hear about what Eddie Howe said in LeBron in 2011. I did not hear. I know a lot of players like to chime in and weigh in on what they think about LeBron. I mean, maybe you can pull up and give me some thoughts on it. Also, before we really get into today's topic, there was a couple guys from the Players' Choice podcast. I was talking to them in the Discord, and there was a couple guys in the Discord talking about some things, and I made a statement in the Discord and they felt like their basketball reference statistics could outweigh the knowledge that we have here at FYF Sports, man. I mean, again, like I tell people, I'm gonna give those guys an opportunity to pull up. Hit the link. Look, I don't block. I don't do none of that crazy stuff. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to say your piece. But just understand, if you get max ether, I will turn you into a spoof video and you will be forever remembered in some silly fashion. So, I mean, again, if you are new over here, just know that will happen. All right. If you don't want to pull up, that's fine. I'll give you an opportunity. But then we're also going to discuss that as well. There was a conversation that we were having in that Discord I think was a really interesting conversation. And it just kind of stems from some of the things that we talk about. The misinterpretation of numbers, how people who don't necessarily understand the game like to rely so heavily on things that they read. I don't even think sometimes they don't understand what they're actually even reading. Brandon Cooler says, Joe Lamont, you think the Lakers are getting Hield and Turner? Brandon Cooler, here's the thing. As we move closer and closer to training camp, what's stopping them? What's stopping the Pacers from pulling the trigger on that trade? Because as we get closer and closer to training camp, this trade gets more and more unrealistic. Because teams right now are doing all of their training camp invites, they're formulating their rosters, and all of these things matter. So, again, if you do make the trade for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, that could potentially affect the players that you invite to training camp that you're looking to fill out your roster with. As opposed to if you leave Russell Westbrook, you may have to invite in a different dynamic of player. The trade is out there. Everybody knows the trade. Obviously, the Lakers have the draft picks and Russell Westbrook. The Pacers have Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. What's the holdup? I think this Pacer trade is more so a media narrative that the media is trying to push as opposed to something that the Lakers are really realistically considering. Remember, all of these trades out here, all throughout the entire summer, everybody's talking about these trades and trade rumors as if the teams have come out publicly and said, this is what we're doing. This is what we're talking about behind the scenes. When you just had the GM of the Miami Heat come out and they said, we knew KD wanted to come here, but we never seriously put together any real trade packages. But if you listen to the media would tell you all types of trade packages were getting thrown out there by the Miami Heat. So again, I think the media does have a job to play in this. There are certain things that they're trying to, push and do. But again, I think the Lakers have kind of went radio silent. And when they go radio silent, I'm starting to believe that they are content with moving forward with Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Pat Beverly, and the squad that they have. Now, whether we as fans like the concept of that roster, if we like the construction of the roster, we can talk about that. But the only thing I can judge the Lakers on now is the moves that they've made. And to date, they haven't made any moves with the Pacers. Burner account says, Ticket says they will make the deal. Look, I mean, if they make the deal, then I will be able to revisit this. I mean, you got to think, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about how bad the Nets would collapse without KD. Then KD comes out and says, okay, I'm fine with staying. So now we have to elevate at least the Brooklyn Nets somewhere back up towards the top of the league, because when KD and Kyrie are healthy, even just with those two, they're still pretty formidable in the regular season. I can't make any promises in the playoffs. So we just got to judge off what we have. If trades happen, we can analyze that later. But right now, I can't judge. I don't like talking about trades that don't happen. And on top of the fact that I actually still like Westbrook with this Laker team. Because like I just don't know how many more better options. Because what's going to happen is Lakers, if you guys somehow get Buddy Hield, I guarantee you by January, you're going to be saying trade Buddy Hield. If the Lakers get Buddy Hield, I promise you, remember, the Laker fans, y'all the ones that said trade Kuzma. Y'all said trade KCP. Y'all were saying trade all these players because they couldn't do certain things. Laker fans are going to find fault in any particular player that the Lakers have. Laker fans even say trade AD. They've even said trade LeBron. Laker fans are the most spoiled fans in sports. Even though they get all of the best players. And then when those players actually get traded, like the Lonzos and Kuzmas, and those players actually have some level of success, and you're like, oh, this Lakers is a horrible, horrible organization. They can't do nothing. Y'all got to understand, y'all Laker fans are the ones that call for all these trades. And when the organization gives it to you, all you do is run back and cry, as if you guys have not enjoyed all types of success because of the finesses that you've been able to pull off throughout your duration in the NBA. Let me get to this list real quick. I'm going to drop the link. Salute to LVZ, NBA Talk, man. If y'all haven't been to his page, man, make sure y'all go check him out. LVZ, NBA Talk. Man, not just basketball talk, real life talk, right? Talks about politics. He calls out the fake advocates of the black community, man. And like I said, he does it all over there. Make sure y'all go check him out as well. Today, look, I'm gonna get through this list really quickly here, because I know I want to bring you guys up. So for my Power 5, and a salute to Mahari as well. I'll see you in the podcast. I'm gonna be dropping the link in 1 second. For my Power 5, top 5 teams, I believe, for the 2022-23 season. We're gonna start with my number 5 team. It's gonna be the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks, right, re-signed a lot of the guys that they had. They made some minor additions, not any really, I would call major additions to that roster, but I think staying pat is probably the best move. I like the roster that they have constructed as long as they can stay healthy. Usually during the regular season, they can stay healthy. It's when the playoffs come where anything can happen. But when that team is healthy, they are champions, right? They're a championship contending team. They're one of the most formidable defenses in the league with Giannis in the backcourt. In the front court, and then Drew Holiday in the backcourt. You still got Guys like Bobby Portis who can score. He can come in and play his role. They got a lot of great shooting. I like what the Bucks can do. I like how they can play both sides of the ball, and they can play multiple styles. And there was, I was listening to the Players' Choice podcast today. There was a lot of criticism. There's some people, I think, were trying to really chime in on Gilbert Arenas' take on Giannis and as far as attacking his IQ. And I didn't really like the sentiment there, but we can get into all that later. My number four team is going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves. And a lot of you guys might say that pick is crazy. But again, when I look at the development of Anthony Edwards and how his game took major strides just going into last year, and in those strides, I expect him to take another leap going into this year. He's going to be an all-star. You're still going to have Karl Anthony Towns, who's an all-star. And now what they've done is they've been able to flip some of the bottom feeder players on that team. They got rid of some of the headaches, like Malik Beasley. Now, obviously, he had the criminal case he was dealing with and all of the stuff that was going on behind the scenes. They got rid of those guys, and they were able to flip that into a defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert. And some people, in this era right here, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves did two things. They afforded themselves the ability to play multiple styles. They can go small, but not necessarily be a small team with Karl Anthony Towns at the center spot. Remember, they also stole a player from the Memphis Grizzlies. They got Kyle Anderson. You're talking about a 6'11", small forward, power forward who can shoot the ball and score, right? So they've afforded themselves the ability to play small with a big lineup with Karl Anthony Towns at the center spot. You still got Anthony Edwards. You still got Russell. You still got talent there. And then they can also go big with Rudy Gobert. You talk about, I call Rudy Gobert a mistake eraser. Last year, they did not have a rim protector who could erase the mistakes of players like DeAngelo Russell defensively. And that's where they struggle, right? So now they have that player that's really good, which is even last year, as bad as Minnesota looked defensively, they still were better defensively than they had been in the past. They had just been missing that key piece. And when you can bring in a defensive player of the year type defender who's an all-star, you don't get much better than that. They feel the need, right? Karl Anthony Towns, they can now play from the outside in. Right? Rudy Gobert is a legitimate lob threat. You have a great passer and scorer, DeAngelo Russell, and Ant-Man, I expect to take leaps and bounds and be a great player. Potentially be a top 15 player in the NBA this year. My number 3 team is going to be the Golden State Warriors. Obviously, the Golden State Warriors, I think they did two of the most underrated moves. The Golden State Warriors had two of the most underrated moves, I believe. Dante DiVincenzo, supremely underrated move. He's a super high IQ player who can defend, attack the basket, and shoot the ball fairly well. Really underrated signing right there that kind of feels a need. I don't know if anybody can replace the defensive prowess of Gary Payton Jr., but Dante DiVincenzo coming there taking less money was a great signing. And then in the draft, a lot of people don't realize the draft pick that they picked up in Patrick Baldwin. Patrick Baldwin was supposed to be a top 5 pick in the draft had he not went to some small school in Milwaukee and then he hurt his ankle. And because he was in this small market college, people forgot about him. People forgot that Patrick Baldwin was potentially a top 5 pick in this draft. And now the only thing you hear out of Golden State is that this man sometimes in practice looks like the best player on the floor. See, they keeping it a secret on top of the fact that Wiseman's coming back. So you got Patrick Baldwin, a guy that's supposed to be a top 5 pick. You got Wiseman coming back. I think he's going to have a really good year. You got Wiggins there. I mean, you still got Draymond, Klay, I expect him to be much better. And you got Steph. Kuminga's going to have growth. Moody is going to have growth. Crazy. Aaron G says Anthony Edwards skillfully is better than LeBron. That is cap, but again, I see where you're going with that. So I got the Warriors at number 3 with a very, very legitimate chance to win it all. My number 2 team is going to surprise a lot of people. I understand why. I know right now this is probably not the most popular team to run with or say. I understand. But again, I don't run with narratives. I just run with my gut feeling. And I go, well, my number 2 team is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers. People go call me crazy. The Lakers didn't do enough in the offseason. They didn't address enough of their problems. They still got Russell Westbrook. Here's the problem, y'all. The things that you guys call problems for the Lakers, these are things that, as a basketball player, I'm looking like new coach is in there. Because the one thing we know, y'all, and I'm going to give you an example with the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics, essentially the same roster. All they did was switch the coach. And they turn into not just the best defense in the league, but they get to the NBA Finals. Just change the coach. Change the culture a little bit. That's all they did. People didn't think they should have brought Horford back, making all that money. They just changed the culture and they're the finals team. When I look at the Lakers, they still have LeBron. They still have Anthony Davis. They still have Russell Westbrook. I mean, we're talking about 3 of some of the greatest players that we've seen. Russell Westbrook, I wouldn't necessarily say he's in his prime, but he's still one of the best in the league. Anthony Davis, when healthy, could arguably is top 5 in the NBA. And then we have LeBron James, who just averaged 30 a game. LVC says, LVZ NBA talks at no shooters. The problem with that is they didn't have shooters, or at least 3-point shooters in 2020 when they won it all. I think they were like 21st in the NBA in 3-point shooting, yet they won a chip. 3-point shooting is not necessarily the end all be all, especially if you can find a way to improve on the defensive end. So again, I don't want to fall into just thinking shooting, because I saw a ton of teams have good shooting and lose. We've seen the Utah Jazz over the last couple of years during the regular season, great shooting team, especially from the 3-point line. But when we get to the playoff, this Utah Jazz team that all of a sudden could shoot the lights out of the ball, when teams slow the game down and clamp up on you, that shooting don't look so special. And now you wish you got some guys that could attack, create, and get to the rim. This is one of the reasons why Rudy Gobert was so disgruntled in Utah, because he's working his ass off defensively, making up for the mistakes. You guys saw the breakdown video I did of the Utah Jazz's perimeter defense, how these trash defenders were just allowing guys to rim run, and Rudy Gobert's trying to play Captain Save-A-Ho every time these guys have breakdowns. So I picked the Lakers primarily because I simply believe it's absolutely impossible for the Lakers with this much talent to be this bad again. I think they've fixed the problem. I think Frank Vogel completely lost the locker room with his inconsistent lineups. I think last year's team was not the team you want to have 30 different starting lineups with. I don't think the players trusted him or believed in him. And I think the leader of that team, the true leader of that team, was Jason Kidd. And they allowed Jason Kidd to go to Dallas. And Dallas, with much less talent, actually did better than the Lakers. So I expect the Lakers to find a way to make it work. And if the Lakers make it work, then because what's going to happen is, this is the pitfall of being LeBron James. If the Lakers actually get back to being great, then you're going to have the haters coming out the woodwork saying that LeBron James needs super team players like Russell Westbrook and AD to carry him. And so I expect by January that sentiment is going to be back. I feel like Russ is going to be playing much better. AD is going to be healthy. And with the Lakers atop the West, probably 1, 2, or 3, I think people are going to be running around trying to say LeBron James needs to get carried by superstar players and that this is a super team. It's just my opinion. This is just what I forecast. So I got the Lakers as the number 2 team in my power rankings. Yeah, I'm going to be dropping the link soon. I'm going to be bringing you guys in. And then I have my number 1 team. All right. My number 1 team is really going to surprise you guys. Because, again, similar to the Lakers, I think they have players that a lot of people have been down on. A lot of people have been down on them. But I think what they showed me in the offseason, this team in the offseason has shown me, because of the sacrifices that they've been able to make, that they are solely invested in winning championships. And this could potentially be the year to do it because of how they've been able to reshape their roster. And my number 1 team in my power rankings is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers. Right? When we look at James Harden, we see the work that he's been putting in this summer to get back in shape. So there's a dedication. And not just a dedication to getting back in shape. What did James Harden say to the organization? James Harden said to the organization, sign who you need to sign to make this team better, and I'll take whatever's left. And so when you look at the players that they signed, they still have Tobias Harris, which a lot of people say he's overpaid, but he's still a good role player, especially when you're looking at him being that 3rd or 4th option on your team. They brought in Daniel House, which Daniel House, his ability to be that 3-and-D type of player. He can make threes. He can defend. I like what he can bring. PJ Tucker, again, another physical defender who can take some of the pressure off of Joel Embiid defensively. I think last year, Joel Embiid spent too much time I think he exhausted so much energy on the defensive end that I think at sometimes when they needed it most, he looked sluggish offensively. I think PJ Tucker can help with that. He brings a level of physicality. As far as rebounding, he can help there. And then also with PJ Tucker, he's looked at as one of the best corner 3-point shooters in the league. So spacing is also there. So when you look at those signings, you still have Maxey, who's much improved, which Maxey, to me, I think he's going to go into that 3rd scoring option over Tobias Harris. You still have James Harden, one of the best point guard, shooting guards in the NBA, who's coming off a down year. I think he was dealing with an injury last year, so that's why we didn't see the best of him. And then you have Joel Embiid. Arguably, most people in here had him as the MVP last year. When you look at this roster from top to bottom, Joel Embiid, James Harden, Tobias Harris, Daniel House, when you have Tyrese Maxey, I love the signing of DeAnthony Melton, because remember, when you look at Memphis kind of, some teams were able to pluck some things away from Memphis. They were able to pluck some players away from Memphis. So if you look at what they did to shape out this roster, they brought in some vets. They brought in size and length. And I feel like the evolution, Harden being back in shape, having a new dedication to the game, with Joel Embiid, I expect them to be the number 1 team in the NBA this year with the best opportunity to win an NBA championship. So my top teams, number 1, Sixers. Number 2, the Lakers. 3 is the Warriors. 4, the Minnesota Timberwolves. And 5, the Milwaukee Bucks. Not my list. When I look at my list, I'm not basing my list off how last season ended. I'm basing my list on how I believe this next upcoming season will unfold. And so that takes me to the teams that I think are going to be overrated or will completely flop. And I'm going to run through these a little faster because I want you guys to come into the chat. I'll be dropping a link pretty soon here. Number 5, I have the Phoenix Suns. Why do I feel like the Phoenix Suns are going to regress a lot? Because I think we started to see the decline of Chris Paul last year in the playoffs. I think we started to see his decline. As soon as his birthday hit last year in the playoffs, Chris Paul didn't look the same for some reason. And that Phoenix Sun team allowed Luka Doncic, a lone superstar on his team, to dominate them. Even with the Mikal Bridges, I think teams are starting. I think teams are starting to figure Bridges out. I think Bridges is starting to look like an offensive liability. Devin Booker, albeit a great scorer, he's extremely streaky at times. And it seems like his scoring comes and goes, and when it's needed most, is never there. And so with Chris Paul being older, I think this year we're going to see the biggest regression of Chris Paul that we've seen. I think with the shoddy relationship with Ayton and the coaching staff, I think there's going to be turmoil there that's going to really shake up the consistency that we've seen from the Phoenix Suns over the last couple of years. My number 4 most different overrated team, or a team that will flop, is going to be the Denver Nuggets. Why do I say the Denver Nuggets? I think the Denver Nuggets really went out this offseason and tried to add players to this roster that they thought could help them win a championship. But I think their 2 biggest issues are always going to be revolved around Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray and their health. Porter Jr., we've signed that massive deal, and as soon as he signed that massive deal, he's out for the season with a back injury. This is a back injury that's nagged him for his career. This back injury, coming out of college, doctors said it was chronic. Doctors warned that it was chronic. And the only thing his back injury has been proven to do is be chronic since he's been in the NBA. Without him being healthy, with this chronic back injury, I don't expect him to survive the season. Murray coming back from this 1.5-year hiatus after tearing his ACL, I don't expect to see Murray in tip-top shape until January. And that's if he can even get it back. And then we have Jokic. I feel like the Nuggets will be a team that's going to look fairly okay in the regular season, but disappoint in the playoffs once again. I think this year I have them falling. I think they're going to be between 6 and 8 in the West. My number 3 team that I feel like is going to flop and fall back and take a regression, and this is a team that a lot of people overhype. I think the Boston Celtics come back down to earth. Boston Celtics spent the majority of last year being the team that everybody thought they were. And then they showed their true colors in the finals again. After they go up 2-1, they go back to being that your turn, my turn type of team with Tatum and Brown, and they couldn't figure out how to – they can't. So now with teams going to be having a more advanced scouting report on how to defend this team, I expect them to take a regression. And I expect them to ultimately, by January, turn to the market to look for trades for one of their 2 stars. Marcus Smart, as the years go on, teams are finding new ways to exploit him. His defense last year was pretty good. I expect that to be the same. But again, is Malcolm Brogdon going to be enough? Is Malcolm Brogdon going to be enough? It's going to be a big question. Danilo Gallinari, he's possibly going to be out for the season. He just tore his meniscus. They just signed him. So now they're going to have to find a replacement there. So I think the Boston Celtics take a major regression back to where many people predicted it to be last year. My number 2 team that's going to take a regression is going to be the Memphis Grizzlies. They lost Kyle Anderson. They lost DeAnthony Melton, 2 vital role players on that team. Jaren Jackson potentially out for the season. This team was built on having a unit of players that can come in from the first unit to second unit. Remember, when Ja Morant went out with an injury, they relied on this core unit to help them win games. This core unit is now getting broken into, whether it's injury or they're losing players. Kyle Anderson was a vital part of that core. They're losing him. DeAnthony Melton was a vital part of that bench. They're losing him. And they're not going to have Jaren Jackson cleaning up. Again, another player who's considered a mistake eraser. When those guys on the perimeter get broke down, that's 3 integral guys from that team last year gone. And essentially, no moves made to replace them. T Street says Jaren Jackson's not out for the season. No, he's not out for the season. They said 6 to 8 months. To me, that's out for the season. So again, when he comes back, if he can immediately come back and look like Jaren Jackson of last year, okay, that might add a little bit of cachet to it, but I'll have to see that first. I don't expect him to be right this entire year. And I don't expect the Grizzlies, because he's a young product, I don't expect them to rush him back. T Street says Melton barely played. Melton did not barely play. And then, the thing is, it's not about him not barely playing. He was always ready to go when Ja Morant got hurt. He was one of the players that they needed when Ja Morant got hurt to help fill in, because Ja Morant sometimes can be a bit injury prone. But I expect them, because of all the issues that they're facing, to take a regression back to some normalcy. I don't expect to see them at the top. And I think the number one team that's going to be overrated, and flop is going to be the Los Angeles Clippers. Everybody's all high and mighty on the Clippers. Oh, Kawhi Leonard's back, even though we haven't seen Kawhi Leonard, and it feels like 5 years. They're going to have a healthy Paul George. Paul George, who missed a large chunk of time last year with an injury himself. I think the Clippers are not who a lot of people are saying they are. I don't believe it. The Clippers are not who a lot of people are claiming that they are. Yes, Kawhi Leonard is coming back. But this is not the same Kawhi Leonard. This is a often injured Kawhi Leonard coming back, who hasn't played a game in over a year. And you expect him to come back, and you want me to believe, because the last time we saw him healthy in the playoffs, y'all know what we saw the last time we saw him healthy in the playoffs. They was getting trounced out. So now you expect me to believe that now a banged up and injured Kawhi Leonard, who's been out of basketball for what it feels like 2 years now, you expect me to believe that he's going to come back out of the trenches from wherever he's been hiding to recover from this so-called partial ACL tear and lead this team to a championship when he was healthy and when the Clippers were number one, when the Clippers were actually predicted to win it, he couldn't get it done. He couldn't get it done when they were healthy. Now you are telling me they can get it done when he's banged up coming back from a major injury? It makes no sense. AJ says, Lamont, it's clear you don't watch Clipper games. This team is legit. No, I watched before Kawhi was injured. I did watch. But what are you going to tell me? That you want me to believe in Reggie Jackson or Robert Covington? Look, we had Robert Covington over in Portland. I can tell you right now he doesn't move the needle at all. He don't help that much. He lost his three-point shot. The three-point shot that he had in Philly is gone. He don't make that motherfucker no more. This Terrence Mann guy, when his game comes and goes, y'all expect me to believe in Terrence Mann? Come on. They're probably going to lose Marcus Morris. I think he's gone. And remember, y'all Nets fans, y'all were down on Luke Kennard. Are y'all all of a sudden, you want me to trust in Luke Kennard when most Clipper fans don't even trust in Luke Kennard? Shit, the coach don't even trust in him. Half the time he's sitting on the bench. What you want me, or do you want me to think that Amir Coffey is going to be this great guy coming off the bench, his game? Right? I don't know what y'all want me to believe in. Nicholas Batum. What you want me to believe in with Nicholas Batum? Did y'all start? Y'all lost Hartenstein, so y'all lost depth at the center spot. I don't know what y'all want me to believe in. Zubac is your defensive anchor at the rim. That's what you want me to trust and believe in? So you lose Hartenstein, you lose Marcus Morris, but you want me to believe in John Wall, who, just like Kawhi Leonard, we ain't seen him on the basketball court in over a year. They both coming back. So you basically telling me to believe in two players coming back off of major injuries who haven't played actual NBA games in a long-ass time. That's what I'm supposed to believe in. Y'all can run with that one. Y'all can take that bet. See, this ain't the 90s where players can go retire or take off 2 seasons and come back and it's the exact same league. No, it actually gets better. He said, Lamont, stop capping. Covington shot 45% from the 3 with the Clippers. All right. Okay, Grindo. When you need that 45% three-point shooting when it matters most, we're going to come back and revisit this conversation. Because I really hope there's a clutch game. For the Clippers, it's probably going to be a play-in game where that ball's going to land in Covington's hands. And Covington is probably going to hit the side of the backboard, air ball, do something crazy. And I'm going to be like, well, you told me he was a 45% three-point shooter. Remember, we had Covington in Portland. We had Norman Powell in Portland. It's a reason why the Portland Trailblazers, we basically gave those 2 players to the Clippers. The Clippers didn't give us nothing for those 2 guys. Why did we just gift them players? Because those players fit the MO of the Clippers. Guys that will generally fail you when needed most. Norman Powell will fail you. Y'all got a whole bunch of guys that fail you when needed most. John Wall's done it in the past. Norman Powell's definitely done it. Reggie Jackson has definitely done it. Or I guess Rodney Hood's going to be coming back from that injury. So I guess y'all got Rodney Hood. I don't know, man. I don't believe in the Clippers. I just don't believe in them because, for one, I don't believe they stay healthy for an entire season. And 2, even if they stay healthy, I don't think they're as good as what people are trying to say they are. Y'all trying to get me to believe in guys that have been sitting at home on the couch for the last almost 2 years. I don't know why y'all trying to get me to believe in guys that have been doing exactly what me and we all have been doing. Some of y'all been sitting on y'all couch for the last 2 years. How do y'all look when y'all step on the basketball court? There's a regression there. You might have had it in high school, college, but if you've been sitting on the couch for 2 years, it look a little different when you get back on the court with people that have actually been running up and down. Now, the last thing before I drop the link, these are my 2 wild card teams that I feel like if these teams get into the playoffs, I think these teams could throw a monkey wrench into people's plans. Just like kind of how last year Boston threw the monkey wrench, Dallas threw a monkey wrench. First team is going to be the New Orleans Pelicans. And I have to say the New Orleans Pelicans based on how they played last year without Zion. So they played really well without Zion, especially once they got CJ. The addition of CJ's veteran presence looked like it invigorated some type of newfound fire into Brandon Ingram, which now forces this man. Now this man is a willing passer all of a sudden. So all of a sudden, Brandon Ingram went from being a black hole on offense to also now being a guy that's a great scorer, but now a willing passer who's playing like he's on a team. They look energized defensively. They got young wings and young bigs who enjoy playing defense. And then now you add a healthy Zion into the mix who just got paid with a weight clause in his contract. So I don't expect him to be eating the Little Debbie cakes in between road trips. I think these 2 teams can throw a monkey wrench in all of our predictions. If you're a fan of any particular team, you probably don't want to see the Pelicans in the playoffs, especially early on. Second team that can throw a monkey wrench into people's plans is going to be the Dallas Mavericks, as we just spoke on them. The Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic. I'm talking about down 3-2 to the Phoenix Suns. I was at that game where the Phoenix Suns went up. The Phoenix Suns beat the dog shit out of the Dallas Mavericks, and the Dallas Mavericks had every reason in the world to fold. And Luka saw them jumping around, dancing, and he says, "All right." Luka really showed why he's a superstar in this league last year. He really showed that last year. He did. You know, when you talk about players early on in their career, I mean, it's hard to judge them off championship success because most young players don't win championships early. And Daniel James, no, I'm not sleeping on the Cavs. The Cavs was in heavy consideration. And I have another list. I'm actually doing a video on the 16 teams that I feel will make the playoffs. And I actually believe the Cavs make the playoffs this year. They will make the playoffs. I love what the Cavs have been doing. It seems like now that there's actually a GM over there actually working, trying to build a team. So, again, I have much respect for the Cavs, but I can't run through every team. I love what the Cavs are doing because they have a clear strategy. They're sticking with that strategy, and it's working to some degree. They're trying to get rid of the knuckleheads like Colin Sexton that just don't fit, and they're running with the size. I love that. Like I said, they're running with a strategy, and if it fails, that's fine, but at least they're doing something. There's so many teams out there that is just not doing any. If you look at the Charlotte Hornets, what are they doing? They have no real plan. They don't really have a real roster. They don't have no real direction. They don't even have a real leader because that coach is just a sit-in until they find the right guy. So the Orlando Magic, no real direction. They all over the place in the draft. No real direction. Houston Rockets, I feel like it's another team. No real direction. Right? They got a lot of young talent over there, but they don't know who they want to keep. They're still holding on to players like Eric Gordon when you should have been let them go. Where's your direction? Salute, Jay Washington, Herb Young. I see you guys in the chat. I'm about to drop the link, man. I want you guys to come in. We're going to cook on these topics today. Y'all heard my list. So my overrated teams that will flop, I got Suns, Nuggets, Celtics, Grizzlies, and Clippers. I think these are teams that everybody's completely overrating. I did not think these teams will be in the mix when we get down to the final four teams in the NBA. I don't think they'll be close. I think these teams, players like Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, I think Chris Paul's going to take a regret. I think these players are going to do what they do best. I think they are going to let us down when in the biggest moments. That's what they're going to do, especially the Clippers, y'all. I just, I'm not basing this stuff off. Like, Kawhi Leonard's not going to be the same, y'all. I don't know what y'all expect to see, but Kawhi's not going to be the same. He can't defend the same. Paul George, he can defend a little, but I just don't see the consistency. And I don't see the depth over there. Grizzlies, same thing. They lost a lot of their depth. Ghost Town said that's a lie. You just run with narratives. What narrative, Ghost Town? See, it's people like Ghost Town. When I open the link up, I'm going to give people like you the number one opportunity to pull up. And you can tell me the narratives. We got Big Milwaukee. He says, hold on, Big Milwaukee, your message went away that quick. He says, this is what Big Milwaukee said, which I don't know what it means. Y'all, Facuts, stop the timeouts over opinions because y'all get, I don't know what. So you getting timed out? Yeah, come on, y'all. Let's not time nobody out, man. All right, my bad, Big Milwaukee. Come on, y'all. Let's not time people out in the chat. I can't, Big Milwaukee, I'm in StreamYard, so I can't see who's getting timed out. But if you're mine, y'all, come on. Let's not time people out, man. Unless they just saying, I haven't seen any ridiculous comments or spam or nothing like that. But let people cook, man. I it is what it is. Hood TMZ, man. Salute, man. Been watching your channel. Make sure y'all go check out Hood TMZ as well, man. Link is in there, man. Now, also remember the link is also for. I remember there was a guy on the Players Choice channel in the Discord named Mars. I guess he had some spiel he wanted to run off about efficiency, and we was gonna let him talk. So the link is out there. So again, if he wants to come in, we can address that really quick before we get started cooking in today's topic. Hey, yo, two-time said, I can't believe the Lamar said the Lakers number 2. Why? They got LeBron, AD, and Russ. People act like Thomas Bryant is not a solid player. Thomas Bryant was very solid when healthy. And he actually, when he came back from injury last year, he was solid. All right, Lonnie Walker, I don't believe in Lonnie Walker, but they did get rid of the headache in Taylor Horton-Tucker. That's called addition by subtraction. They got rid of one of the major problems. Taylor Horton-Tucker was a major problem. They got rid of him. They brought in a guy in Patrick Beverley who's what? He's a culture changer. Is Patrick Beverley going to come in and average 30 a game? No. But Patrick Beverley is going to come in and definitely change the culture, especially for the younger guys. They didn't bring Pat Beverley in for LeBron and AD. They brought Pat Beverley in for the other guys, showing he's a leader in as far as how to do your role. How to do your role. I don't think the Lakers are worried about Russ and Beverley having issues. We saw Charles Oakley and Xavier McDaniel get in a fist fight on opposing teams, but then team up on the Knicks and be just fine. Y'all take these beefs on the court and act like these players don't just completely forget about them. How many times have you heard about players fighting off the court or in bars or anything like that? It rarely ever happens. They're usually pretty cool. Let me let you guys in. Salute LVZ, Skylar, Mingo Jester. We got Grind on here. Jason Brown hasn't been here for a minute, man. We got Jason pulling up. Salute, man. And we got C. Appreciate y'all pulling up, man. FYF Sports, man. Let me
salute.
Let me go ahead because you know LVZ is the king of giving a hot take and then skipping up out of here. We're gonna let LVZ take the floor first, man. Hall of Famer of the channel, man. What you got? What you think about my list and what changes would you make?
I mean, I told you my list. My list was Golden State 1, Milwaukee 2. I still like the Grizz for 3, Celtics 4. I don't mind Philly being in 5, but I don't think I put them in 5. But my problem with is, as a Laker fan, you just sat up here and lied. I just wanted to clear up the falsehood and the utter BS that you say about my team that I love. I've been watching since I was 4 years old for 41 damn years, and you gonna sit here and tell a bold-faced, black-ass lie as if, oh no, this is the same team as 2020. There was no shooting. No one could shoot. Everyone was laying it up. First of all, we lost depth. I did not want that Russell Westbrook trade, and you know that. My biggest problem is what you said was, okay, we added a Beverly Patrick, the dead homie. So we guaranteed 5 fouls, 14 technicals, 2 ejections, and you know what I'm saying, a couple of fines. We guaranteed that. But that's not what I'm focusing on. That 20, hold on, no, let me go, y'all. Let me go.
He took my take, man.
So hold up. They're gonna tell me Rondo, right? He ain't no damn Rondo, but okay, we'll give you that. But Rondo was making 37% from 3 in that playoff, so don't tell me we didn't have shooting. And then we had Danny Green, who, when he wanted to make a shot, still you had to honor his space. Then you got to realize we still had KCP, who, when he wanted to get hot, and he had a couple of games where he got hot, not only in the playoffs, but in the finals. He was capable of making threes and guarding multiple positions. Kuzma, Caruso, Dwight Coward, not the black one, the white one. And we had Morris twin, who was guarding multiple positions. So for you to just for you to just throw, you know what I'm saying, throw this team up there in the top 5 when they haven't earned it. I like LeBron, but I don't see that we did anything. Who was that talking all sultry?
That was I think he was talking to somebody else. I just muted him. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I was about to say, but yeah, for you to throw him, I mean, throw us in the top 5 when we haven't earned it, and I haven't seen any moves close to that. We got a white dude they call him Hillbilly Kobe that I see as another dead homie. He be bricking threes and getting his white ass baked. Now, unless that's the truth. Now, unless you got faith, unless you got faith in motherfucking what's his name? Hillbilly Kobe. Or who else we got?
Thomas
my bad. Scottie Pippen Jr., Shaquille O'Neal Jr., Jason Kidd Jr. And if that's what you want to put your stock in, then maybe if you can convince me that they're as good as those players that I mentioned, who all, by the way, made the teams that they ended up playing on a little bit better, while the Lakers got worse when we traded them for Russell Westbrook, which I thought was ill-advised. I just don't see how making older players do more are going to make us better. And then my other thing, you said you called Rudy Gobert a mistake eraser. That's interesting, because I call Rudy Gobert a mistake. That's it. All that other shit, you can just leave. What's going to end up happening is what end up happening with his big French ass. He going to look like a big ass French bitch when people dunking on his ass in the playoffs. But you are right. They are more talented. So I got him being 5th or 6th in the West this year and going to the playoffs. I like Kyle Anderson. And I think he's going to take a lot of the Rudy Gobert time, and they're going to realize, damn, we ain't really need him. We got Carl Anthony Towns, and we shouldn't play these two together at the same time. This just doesn't look right.
Hey, but like with Minnesota, let me say one thing with Minnesota. I said, like, I think the biggest thing was they brought in a guy that can kind of cover him in situations where Rudy Gobert ain't working so well. And if you need Rudy Gobert, because you're going to need a guy like that if you have to face the Embiids and the Jokic's and stuff like that, you still have him there for that. They can play small but still be big at the same time with Karl Anthony Towns and Kyle Anderson. But if you need that true guy that's going to take care of the back to the basket big men, you still got Rudy Gobert, who is actually pretty good at his job to a certain degree. I mean, he's multiple-time defensive player of the year. He's not just no pushover. So I'm
not saying he a scrub. What I'm saying is he's a mistake waiting there. All you just told me was this man is overglorified JaVale McGee. You could have got the same production if you got JaVale McGee. That's all I'm saying.
Come on, LBZ. Don't be like that, man.
No. I'm telling the truth. He is an overglorified because JaVale got rings and helped teams win. He ain't do that yet. He ain't. I know you can't. I know you can't. Know why? Because JaVale has rings, help teams win, and Rudy ain't do that. All he did was get a best player on his team, COVID, and told him get him the fuck out of it, and made him say, "Man, get this big bum the fuck out of here."
Man, niggas gonna run in the hold
yes, he blocked a lot of shots. He stood near the rim and blocked a lot of shots in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he normally became unplayable. He can't score on the block still to this day. And he's a good rebounder for his size. I do like that. But he always comes up small in the postseason.
I disagree.
All right, hold on. We're gonna let everybody get around to this. I want to let LVZ
Hey, look. Do your thing. You could go ahead and defend Rudy Gobert all you want. Die on your Rudy Gobert heel. You'll do that when I'm gone because you just look crazy defending Rudy Gobert. I mean, for what? But the only thing I got, the only real problem I had, Lamar, was the Lakers. Like I said, this your opinion. This to me, I wouldn't have done no shit like this. You got to still beat the champion. The Bucks still look strong to me because they didn't have Middleton. I still got to give Boston credit for what they did. I still put Brooklyn like number 7 or number 8 because of their talent. But I don't like how this shit all broke down and transpired. And I don't know how this shit gonna work because we just saw this playoffs what it looked like when Kevin Durant wanted to check out.
Yeah.
So I just don't trust that. But as far as your list, I mean, it's crazy. But don't be lying on my Lakers like that. Y'all go ahead and do y'all thing.
All right, man. All right.
Hey, let me have a turn.
Good point.
All right, go ahead, Mahari, man. What you got on this?
Man, what's going on, y'all? I sent you 2 recordings of podcast episodes for you, my brother. So they'll be ready for you to edit when you got the chance.
Yeah, I got you. I got them too.
Yep, for sure. And I think I gotta agree with LBZ on 2 different fronts. I don't see the Lakers winning the chip. I actually do not. I see them maybe going as far as playing because to me, they still haven't addressed the weaknesses of their team. They don't have shooting. All right. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Russell Westbrook was the main problem to this, but I just never believed that Russell Westbrook and LeBron James could mesh well together based on their styles. And I just don't see them working again. If you anticipate them playing together again for another full season, I just don't see that happening. And you also have to consider the fact that Anthony Davis is injury prone as well. We anticipate this man being out for at least 15, 20 games a season. He's never played a full 82-game season throughout his entire career. So I don't trust AD's health. I know how talented he is. We see what he can do. He won a championship. We can't deny that. But his health is always going to be the major question mark. And plus, they don't have shooters, and you've lost some key guys on your rebounding department. So I don't know. I don't see them winning the chip. I don't have the Sixers winning the chip at all. I think that's going to be another disaster waiting to happen. Okay, the Bucks I can see because they're getting guys back.
But why? But why do you believe it'll be a disaster for Philly? But why? Because I don't. Okay. I think they improved. They did improve, so it won't be the same.
They won't listen. Let's say it like this: they will. They have improved, and I think they're going to do well in the regular season. I just don't trust them in the postseason. I think that the same problems are going to exist again in the postseason. And whenever you have James Harden on your team during the postseason, he will come up short. That's been the rap against him. And same with Joel Embiid. I just don't think they're gonna take it to a conference final or even an NBA final. Maybe second round, and that's about it. That's how far I'm taking them. But if I had to replace both of those teams, I'd take the Miami Heat. I still think the Heat are still a formidable team, in the Eastern Conference. I still think that they just need one good score away, and I think they're set. But they're still a formidable team because of the way they play defense. I still like them. I'm not sleeping on the Celtics because I know that the Celtics are going to try to redeem themselves from their mistakes. But I think that they're going to regress a little bit though, because I think that teams are going to start figuring out how to guard the 2 other superstars, and it's going to come down to who are they going to trade first. And I believe that they're not going to trade Jason Tatum. They're going to trade Jaylen Brown first before anything else. And I think Marcus Smart is going to regress a little bit.
I agree with you on my team, though.
Yeah. The Warriors, I'm still going to put them as number 1. You got to beat the chance first. So I still have them number 1. I like the signing of Dante DiVincenzo. I've been telling people this guy is a very good basketball player. Not a star, though, but a guy that's very serviceable off your bench and who can still hit shots and very athletic. And I think he'll provide very much a good fit for the Warriors. I do think the Phoenix Suns will regress this year. I think this is it for Chris Paul. I think this will be maybe the second to last years of his career because I think that now the Phoenix Suns are going to pretty much regress very, very badly. So, but yeah, that's what I think, and I think I like the Pelicans to really make a move. I think they're not going to be a sleeper anymore. I think they're elite right now. We'll just see how they start out during the regular season. If I had to pick my top 5 teams. Warriors, Bucks. I would also go with the Dallas Mavericks. Yes, I'm going with the Mavericks because I think that the way they played last year and the pieces and then the moves they made during the offseason, I think they're going to be a better team this year than they were a year ago. Not taking away what they did in the postseason. I'm going to go. I'm going to still stick with the Grizzlies because even though they lost some very key pieces off their bench, they're still pretty much a formidable team. I just hope that Jaren Jackson Jr. can get healthy soon enough, but I don't think he will. And then my fifth team is going to be a tough one though. But I think I'm going to go with one of the teams that kind of pretty much has been quietly been improving. I don't want to say the Phoenix Suns, as I've already said that they were not going to do well this year. I don't know. Maybe, yeah. But I think I might go with the Brooklyn Nets, but that's a long shot. That's just my long shot. No. I'm just saying. No. I'm just saying that's just my long shot because of all the stuff that's been going around during the off season. That's just my long shot. But go ahead.
Good list.
Yo.
Hey, I want to go to because I know he was waiting, and he's new here. I don't think I've seen him on the stream on the at least live panel yet. T Sweezy, because I want to hear his list. I want to hear his list. What are your thoughts on my list? What would you change? Would you take anybody out? And then what's yours?
Let me go after him because I'm doing something. But I'm still
okay. Go all right. Let me know. I'm gonna put you on mute list. Let me know when you're ready. Hold on. Let me go to Mingo. I know Mingo Justice doesn't like the Lakers and LeBron James being at number 2 in the power rankings, man. What you got on this? Mingo Justice, your mic is muffled. I can barely hear you. Hey, how about it come back in?
My phone was ringing.
Oh, okay. You good now? I can hear you.
My phone ringing. That's why I was doing that.
Okay.
But anyway, mine's simple. I got Golden State. They got the Clippers at number 2. I got the what we doing? We doing East and West or just West?
No, just top 5. Like top 5 overall.
Overall, okay. Well, I got still got the Warriors at number 1. I got the Bucks at number 2, Celtics at number 3. I got the Mavericks at number 4 because the Mavericks, they lost Jalen Brunson, but they still got Spencer Dinwiddie, which I think he can take Jalen Brunson's spot, and I think he can give you like them 20, 26, whatever points. He can make up for that. Then they add Christian Woods and JaVale McGee. That'll help their front line. So I think that's gonna make them even better. So I got the Mavericks up there. I don't think the Suns gonna do too much. They always been frauds. They do good in the regular season, but they don't do too well in the postseason. Then also same thing with the 76ers. They do well in the regular season. Joel Embiid is a great player, but he don't show up in the playoffs. And they got 2 players like that now. James Harden the same way. And then Jazz, they out of it. I really think the Pelicans gonna be up there. I'm high on the Pelicans. That's who I'm high on. I'm really high on the Pelicans. I think Zion Williamson coming back, go along with CJ McCollum and Brandon Ingram, and I think they're gonna be really good. And I think they're gonna be hard to beat in the 7-game series too. And then you got not the Trailblazers, the Timberwolves. I ain't really sold on the Timberwolves. I do like Ant-Man though. I like Ant-Man, but I ain't sold on the Timberwolves too much. I just ain't sold on them guys. But I do like Ant-Man though. And who else? I ain't even gonna mention nothing about the Lakers. Y'all know about the Lakers. I know you got them high up there, but I don't see it myself because Anthony Davis ain't gonna stay healthy. Russell Westbrook is Russell Westbrook. Patrick Beverly, like LVZ said, he gonna have technicals and all that. Yeah, he'll give you all that, and that's enough said. And you got Thomas Bryant and all these guys, but they ain't really. They're not championship caliber players. Thomas Bryant, Damian Jones, them guys not championship caliber players, man. Like what have any of them guys did? Outside of LeBron, AD, and Russ, that's literally all they got. Lonnie Walker ain't never did shit. The other guys ain't never. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah. That's pretty much my list right there, though. I got Brooklyn up there somewhere too. If they can get everybody to buy in, including Ben Simmons, I think the Nets can be really good. if they can get everybody to buy in, but they got to get everybody to buy in though. Everybody.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, that's me. Hey, Minka Justin got a crazy. Look, see, I told y'all my list. Before I go to the next person, I'm gonna go to Jason next. Oh, hold on, Mingos. I'm gonna put you on mute. I got a lot of noise coming from your mic. My list is not formulated based on what I saw last year. It's based on what I think will unfold this year. Because we know every year things change so drastically. These things change drastically. Nobody saw Memphis coming this year. Nobody saw Dallas doing what they did. Nobody really predicted what Denver did this year. So nobody predicted what Boston or Golden State did. So, everybody had Phoenix up there and the Milwaukee's, Brooklyn's, the LA's. I'm just predicting what I think might happen, not based off last year, what I think will unfold. Go ahead, Jason. What you got on this?
My top 5, I got the Warriors, Boston, Milwaukee, I say Philadelphia and Brooklyn as far as my top 5.
Why you got Brooklyn in there? That's interesting to me.
Cause they got a lot of talent. I feel like the last dude said, if they can buy in, they can really make some noise. I feel like Ben Simmons, he's one of the best passers in basketball, defensively elite. So, and you got KD and Kyrie. This is gonna come down to staying healthy and continuity when they're on the floor.
If you look at this net team, though, they are severely underrated. I might have even underrated them. Now, I had them in my top 10 teams when I did this.
I did.
But when you look at addition to TJ Warren, we haven't seen him in a couple years. He could be good. You still got Patty Mills. Claxton's going to be better. Joe Harris is a good shooter. He will be back. The development of Cam Thomas, he's going to be back. He's a good scorer. Royce O'Neal is length and a defender. When you talk about some of the youngsters, I think David Duke could maybe play a small role on this team if he gets time. I don't know, man. I mean, Seth Curry's still there. They got a deep team. It's just going to all revolve around KD, Kyrie, and Ben. I think Ben will be fine. I think Brooklyn has either lived or died on KD and Kyrie. Yeah. And if those two don't have their head screwed on straight, everything can fall apart.
When you pick Minnesota, I like Minnesota, but I feel like it's too early for them. I just feel like, I know you said championship, like already. I mean, they only made the playoffs once. So I think it's a little bit too early for them to, in my eyes, to make it like a deep run in the playoffs. I think they can get to the second round, though.
But I think I picked them because just like I saw this year, the element of surprise can throw teams off. If they haven't seen you in the playoffs and they don't have a lot of playoff footage to scout you out really well, that stifled teams. That made Dallas hard to defend. That made Memphis harder to defend. I think same thing can happen with Minnesota this year by them adding Rudy Gobert. I mean, they got rid of some guys. They brought in Kyle Anderson. I mean, when you look at this roster, I mean, they made some pretty good signings. They added shooting. They added length. They got way better defensively. I think probably the only red flag here on their roster is going to be with Taurean Prince, a guy that they just signed who just caught the charge. But now news has come out that the charge is fairly minor and it's not as big as what some people thought it would be. So, I mean, I like what they're doing. I like this. They got Austin Rivers, so you got another backup guard in case DeAngelo Russell starts turning into a knucklehead again, like we saw in the playoffs. They went and got Eric Pascal. Size, youth, and just in case people get hurt.
Yeah. Let me say a sleeper team that I got. Yeah. I got Toronto. I like what they're doing as far as they depth and what they can do defensively with that length they got with Scotty Barnes, Anunoby, and Siakam and all them guys. So I won't say a championship or nothing like that, but I think they can make a run in the playoffs and cause problems for some teams.
Yeah, I like it, man. Hold on, let me go to Grindo. Grindo 24, man. Grindo been kind of low key a hater in the comments too, man. Why you been hating on FYF Sports so hard in the comments, man?
What you mean hating now?
I'm just messing with you.
I'm about to say, dog. I ain't no hater. I love this platform, man, for real. First of all, I want to say salute. Okay,
yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you pulling up.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna give my 5 teams who I think have the best chance of competing for a championship.
All right.
Okay, number 1, I think the Bucks. I think last season them missing Middleton kind of kept them from winning the championship. I think with Chris Middleton, they would have got Boston out of there pretty easily, and then beating the Golden State Warriors in 6-7 games, give or take. And then my number 2, I got the Warriors. I got to give them the respect because they did just win the championship. I think Klay Thompson is going to have a better season. I think Andrew Wiggins, him being a bit young, I think he's going to be able to grow as well, get better. Same thing with Jordan Poole. And then my number 3 is the same team that you I think you kind of hate on a little bit too much, man. No cap. But I think it's the Clippers. Look, man. Look, they're really deep. They're extremely deep. Then Kawhi Leonard, I think he's going to come back. I'm not going to say better than never, but if he come back even 80 or 90% of what he was in 2021, where he was averaging 30 points a game on 60% shooting from the field in the playoffs, I think they'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're deep as hell, like I said. And then PG, of course, doing what he did in 2021. And then Reggie Jackson, as long as he's not a number 1 option, he'll be fine as well. You know what I'm saying? So, number 4, I got the Celtics. They were just in the finals as well. But like you said, or I think somebody else pointed this out, but the Celtics had went 7 games against a Heat team without without Hero, excuse me. And then 7 games against the Nets. The Bucks without Middleton. So, I think they kind of benefited from that. But I think Tatum and Brown, Marcus Smart, I still, Rod Williams, I think they have a great squad. So I got them at 4. And then number 5, I have a tie between the 76ers and the Brooklyn Nets. So, yeah, I'm trusting James Harden right now because he looks great from what I've seen. In the offseason, he looks, in much better shape. And I know when Harden is Harden, when he's healthy, he could give you a lot of good production in the playoffs, especially since 2019. I think he stepped up. And then Embiid, when he's healthy, of course, he's an MVP candidate like he was this past season. And then I'm looking at the Nets, and they got a squad, bro. KD, he's a top 5 player. Kyrie, he could be potentially one of the best playoff performers. And then, you got Joe Harris, you got Aldridge, you got Seth Curry, you got Claxton. They just picked up TJ Warren, and then what's the dude from Utah? Royce O'Neal. So and then they got Ben Simmons. So, but in terms of overrated teams, bro, I struggle with this one because I really only know one team for sure that I don't think is going to make noise or much noise at all, really, even though they're hyped up to do so, and that's the Phoenix Suns because the same reason that you gave, CP3 is older, and Devin Booker is he's an inconsistent scorer at best, and outside of those two, you really have absolutely nobody else. So you have DeAndre Ayton, but he's not going to be able to carry the load if Booker and CP3 aren't playing up the par.
I think the biggest thing with the Suns is, and I'm gonna get to, I got to get to Flight Sports TV. He just pulled up. I think here's the biggest thing with the Suns. As soon as they faced a little bit of adversity last year in that locker room with the relationship with Ayton and the head coach, they started to fall apart. Now they have to go through a whole season of that adversity with Chris Paul older. They lose JaVale McGee without no true replacement. So they didn't really get better. They essentially kind of got worse. And they still haven't found a way to address the elephant in the room, and that's Ayton. Obviously, the tension there. They didn't want to sign him to what he wanted. He signed with the Pacers, wanted to go there. Then they matched just out to lose him. So, again, that's something they're going to have to deal with right there as well. How do they deal with adversity? I think they take a major step back. We got Flight Sports TV in here, man. Y'all need to check out this man's channel, man, if you haven't done it. Yeah, man. Flight Sports. I got to put him on the big screen too, man. Just like he do me, man. Hey, man, Flight Sports TV, man. Great content over there. I have to go over there and bake him every now and then. But you know, it is what it is, man. But Flight, man, what you got on this conversation?
What's going on, FYF?
What's good, man?
Man, the conversation is crazy. This is about who you think gonna win the championship?
Just like your top five, the top five in the NBA, top five teams,
Okay.
whether it's based on last year or based on some of the new moves that you've seen.
Right.
Like you looking at this coming year. I mean, even if it's like, you know, where do you see your Knicks? Do they have a resurgence? Right? Do they fall off even more? I don't know.
I don't got the Knicks in the championship equation, but I like Brooklyn. I like Los Angeles. I like Golden State. I mean, I'm trying to think who else could possibly be in the mix. I need to see more from Boston. I think they overachieved. I think they're gonna be a threat, but I mean, I don't think they're gonna get out the East. So I put three in. What I had three in there: the Nets, the Lakers. I'm gonna put the Lakers in there too, and I'm gonna put the Warriors. Man, this is tough. I guess I'm gonna go with Milwaukee. You know, because they were, I think they were injured, but they're still gonna be a force with Giannis. And then I'm gonna put a wild card in there. I'm gonna say Chicago. You heard me?
Chicago's a team. That's a team that I honestly didn't probably give enough consideration, and I could be honest about that. I probably should have given them a little bit more consideration because if I'm honest about it, I could easily drop Minnesota down and put Chicago in at my number 5 slot when I think about it because, man, they were really good when healthy. I'm talking about
Minnesota.
Really good.
It's a little too early for Minnesota. I don't think it's going to happen right away.
I mean, they have to make it work, but I think the easiest thing to integrate in the NBA today is a big because their role, you know, is so defined, especially a defensive big. He just has to come in and do what he's always done, defend. And I think one of the harder things is it's like what we saw with Russ, bringing in a guard, trying to figure out what his role is going to be on the offense. With Rudy, we all know what his role is going to be on the offensive end. Yep. You the lob guy, you the offensive rebound putback guy, and you the defensive guy. So I think it's more to figure out. I think it's less to figure out there. I don't think it's going to be as hard to integrate him as some people might believe. He said Chicago first round fools. Not if they healthy, Herb Young. If Chicago's healthy, you don't want your best player to be getting guarded by Lonzo Ball and Caruso to be the backup coming in afterwards. That's just getting bothered the entire game with no break. So I mean, it sounds good, but nobody really wants to see a healthy Chicago with a DeMar DeRozan and a healthy Zach LaVine, and you still got Vucevic. Pat Williams is going to be healthy. I mean, it's problems. The Bulls are a problem. They will be a problem. The key there is health. Can they be healthy? And I think that's probably what eliminates them this upcoming year. I believe it's ultimately going to be healthy. That takes them out the equation. Hold on. We're going to get to – and then salute. That was Flight, man. Flight, man.
Subscribe to him. I'm with you.
Salute.
Let me ask you one thing, Flight. Now, the Charlotte Hornets. I almost put them on my list as a wild card team that could potentially surprise people this year because when everybody stacks all the odds against you and you got a young star on your team, sometimes they can find a way to overachieve and do a lot better than what people expect. Everybody's down on Charlotte because Miles Bridges, no Montrezl Harrell right now. No true backup point guard. They don't know what's going on there. The head coach is in limbo. Is this a potential year where you see Charlotte overachieving because all the odds are just stacked against them?
I think so. I mean, obviously there's no superstar walking through the door. It looks like they're going to have to build from within. I recently just put out a video today discussing Kai Jones. He's doing a whole bunch of good work out there for the Bahamas, out there for FIBA play. So I'm expecting guys like him not to be the savior, but a combination of him, PJ, the list goes on. Mark Williams, everybody, JT, Thor, that they all gonna have to band together, to get the production, because it seems to be like Bridges could be out, for I don't know how long, so until they haven't, they got to get that situation rectified. He hasn't even been featured by the team, for this upcoming season. So it's looking like they're going without him. So that's what I see, for the Charlotte Hornets. But I do believe that LaMelo Ball is going to take over. They are going to figure out a way, to get into that play-in situation. And I'm predicting home court advantage this time to be the difference. I think they hired Steve Clifford for a reason, and not the championship coach. No, but a bridge coach to get you to the postseason. He did it with Orlando. Now he's got to do it again with Charlotte. So I believe it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think if Charlotte can find a way to address the center spot a little bit better with maybe a vet guy. I mean, there's a guy sitting out there that's still a free agent, and ain't nobody gave him no consideration. Charlotte needs to hop on it before it's too late. I believe Serge Ibaka is still a free agent. That would be a great pickup to me. And then as you look at Schroeder, I think Schroeder is another guy who could be a great backup point guard for LaMelo, and then also come in and allow LaMelo to be the two if he's cooking on offense. I think I don't know why they are so hesitant to pull the trigger on these moves. And I believe it's because a lot of the guys that they think can help the team this year are looking for longer-term deals, not 1-year deals. And they don't really want to sign anybody long-term right now. They're looking to play with their money in free agency next summer. That's what I believe. But
I mean, there are some little moves. There are little moves that could be made. But you could even overpay a guy for 1 year. It's things that could be done. But let's see what happens. It don't have to be a home run. Like you hear that name in the Donovan Mitchell sweepstakes. It don't have that don't have to be the fix. Some of the moves that you just made, could be the answer.
That's true at all. I mean, Tristan Thompson for 1 year could be good, especially if you're looking. No, I'm just saying that's a good veteran presence. If you're looking to find a vet who can help your team get through a play-in game and maybe get to that first round, I think his experience there, not on court, but more so on the bench and in the locker room, the culture, have the impact because they don't know how to act, how to carry themselves, how to play in those moments like that. Tristan Thompson's been there. They don't have no vets on that team, any, who can help them with that. I think Tristan Thompson could be that vet. Even Serge, but you got to go get these guys. You got to at least sign them. Let me go to and that's Flight Sports TV. Make sure y'all go check them out. Hold on. Who said that? Oh, yeah. I was just about to go right to you. I'm about to check in with you. C. Sweezy was good, man. What you got on this?
Okay. I heard some of your prediction. You said you had the Lakers and Nets as contenders, right?
No, I don't have the Nets in my top 5. No.
Top 5 in the whole league or the conference?
My power rankings, my top 5 teams are Sixers, Lakers, Warriors, Timberwolves, and Bucks.
You say Sixers, Lakers. You say Timberwolves and Bucks.
Warriors, Timberwolves, and Bucks.
Okay. White. Oh, okay. I thought you was bashing the Timberwolves.
Oh no.
Hell no.
Okay. Why the Timberwolves?
Because I think the evolution of Anthony Edwards is here.
Yeah.
But like you start over, somebody called me. My bad.
Explain it to him.
There has been a GM. He was unnamed, but he came out and said this is probably the closest thing to Michael Jordan that we might see.
He looked like when I might be insane.
When we talk about fixing or plugging in one of your biggest weaknesses, they were an improved team last year, and then they improved their biggest weakness without giving up anything.
Yep.
They improved rim protect. Remember, how many times did we see in the playoffs they had humongous leads, but because they couldn't stop teams from getting to the rim, these teams were able to come back. Memphis was able to come back from 20-point deficit.
Yeah, they could have ended the series,
times,
but they kept blowing it, and then they was struggling in the paint though too.
Yeah,
Desmond Bain was fucking their ass up.
Yes, and so now you have the ultimate. He's defined as a mistake eraser. When you get beat on the perimeter, now you don't have to worry about Karl Anthony Towns not contesting because he don't want to foul out.
Mm-hmm.
You have Rudy Gobert down there. And then you also sign Kyle Anderson. You take him from Memphis, bring him to your team. You're talking about a 6'10" guy that can make shots, right? Make plays. He's a good playmaker at that position.
Yeah,
He can play small
great.
ball.
I like him.
So you weaken another team to make yours stronger in your two areas where you were weak. And so I think with that experience with DeAngelo Russell, the young guys, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, I just think it's just a teapot that's about to blow. It's just a matter of time before it all meshes.
What I was gonna say was, I just didn't like how they gave up 4 first-round picks and how they gave up Vanderbilt and Beverly. You know what I'm saying?
I'll explain.
Even though he was non-existent on offense, he was a good glass cleaner. You feel me?
I'll explain
He was
why they
long,
did that.
he quick. You know what I'm saying? And then I like Pat Bev. You know what I'm saying? He had that team going. Because M-Man and DeAngelo Russell, they struggle on defense.
No, not Anthony. Not Anthony.
But you got to think, you have Vanderbilt, but then you also had Jaden McDaniels too. So I think you now have to choose. Because remember, they had so many players that were similar. Remember, you had Malik Beasley. But Malik Beasley, but Malik Beasley was dealing with the legal issues that brought bad publicity, especially now in this era with, those types of issues. So now Malik Beasley's out the picture. They got rid of that money, but it's like addition by subtraction because they bring in Austin Rivers, who's a solid shooter. You can rely on him in the playoffs in spot minutes. You bring in Eric Pascal for depth. I mean, they did a lot of things. Like, they really didn't lose much. And then they had one of the most underrated signings by signing C.J. Ellaby, a guy who showed a lot of promise with the Portland Trailblazers last year.
You said
his name is C.J. Ellaby.
What position he play?
He's a shooting guard, 6'6". He could possibly play the 3 maybe, but he's an extremely talented wing guy. He's not gonna get a ton of minutes, but if somebody goes down, you can rely on him. Huh?
Right.
He can play defense.
Yep.
Yes, he can defend. He can score really well, but he's not a guy that's gonna come in and play 30 minutes. No, but if somebody goes down, like with an injury, he can fill in, and there's not gonna be any drop off in that backup reserve
guy.
Yes. I mean, they've done everything you need to shore up any holes. I think it's going to come down to coaching and health. And I think they stay healthy.
Can I explain those 4 draft picks?
Let me get on that.
Okay. Hold on. Let me go to before I go to you, TC. Let me go to C Jackson because he wasn't here first. I'm gonna go to C Jackson, and then I'm gonna go to. Go ahead. Finish up.
I was asking a question on that, but I like your take on Minnesota though. Okay. So basically, how we doing? We doing 1 through 8, or how does it work? Or top 5?
Just top 5. Just to the top 5.
Okay. Well, all right. I'm gonna start with the East. In the East, I got my Celtics as number 1.
No, just top 5 in the NBA. Top 5 in the NBA. Just overall.
Okay. All right. Well, number 1, I got the Warriors. You know what I'm saying? They the defending champions. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't have them making the finals or whatever. What I was gonna say, they it took 2 years for them to get back to where they was at. And you know what I'm saying? The Warriors, they was building their team through the draft, and they waited on Klay. Klay missed damn near 2 years, and soon they got Klay back there in the finals, And mind you, Klay don't got his legs back. Wait till Klay get his legs back. It's really over for the league. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was gonna say they getting Wiseman back. They got Moody. What else? Who else they got? They added DiVincenzo. He's better than Gary Payton to me. He's a better shooter than Gary Payton, a better playmaker. You know what I'm saying? Gary Payton presence is going to be missed, but I like how they replaced him with Gary. I like how they replaced him with DiVincenzo. I like how they added Jermichael Green. What else?
Underrated move. That's an underrated move. That's going to pay off in playoff time.
Right.
Underrated move.
Right. And then okay, yeah, my number 1 is the Warriors. Number 2 is the Celtics. We traded for Brogdon. Problem with us is we had a problem with turning over the ball. We lacked that playmaking. We played stupidly.
Right.
We have great defense. We could score, but the thing about it is like we'll blow leagues.
Marcus
And
Dunn.
the problem with us is we went in the shootout with the Warriors. You get what I'm saying? And we couldn't stop the Warriors in transition because we kept fucking up. Like Marcus Smart was fucking up. Derek White, Al Horford was non-existent after game 1. You know what I'm saying? We had no scoring from the bench, and you know what I'm saying. We only got blown out one time, so we were right there. And you know what I'm saying. We had like a bunch of non-experienced players, you know. And mind you, we were right there, and our best player didn't even show up. You know what I'm saying? Like we were right there. You know what I'm saying? I know we got blown out game 6, but you know what I'm saying? The games were close. We had leagues. I know we lost leagues in the second half and stuff like that, but we were right there. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, it's a learning experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, who can guard Stephen Curry? You know what I'm saying? Marcus Smart, he had a high ankle injury. He's not a fraud. You know what I'm saying? Him and Robert Williams was one of the main reasons why our defense is going, and Jaylen Brown. You know, people forgot Marcus Smart got hurt in the Miami series, and Jason Tatum, and then Robert Williams, he wasn't fully healthy. That's why we didn't play him a lot of minutes. And what else? We added Gallinari, and then we added Michael Brogdon. That Michael Brogdon made it clear that he want to come off the bench. So that's gonna help us. You know what I'm saying? We got Grant Williams, Peyton Pritchard. We got Derek White. Who else do we got? I forgot. But yeah, man, I could see us. I could see us contending. And you know, Ime Udoka, he's a good coach. You know what I'm saying? It was his first year. You know what I'm saying? But we have to, you know what I'm saying, we have to get better at scoring on our bench. We got to get better at playmaking. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they need to work on dribbling because they keep losing the fucking ball. They take about 4 to 7 dribbles to the rim. They dribble recklessly. But yeah, Boston number 2, number 3. I was okay. I'm gonna put Dallas. I got Dallas number 3, and then they added JaVale McGee. They added Christian Woods. They getting Tim Hardaway back off for injury. He's way better than Brunson.
And if you can run through your whole list because we got to hear everybody's list. We could chop it up about the teams in depth as soon as everybody get to their list.
All right, my bad.
No, you good.
Warriors, Celtics, Mavericks. I only put the Mavericks because I don't know what the Clippers is going to do because Kawhi not back. But if Kawhi back, then I got Clippers number 3. But yeah, I got Mavericks, Bucks is 4, and then 5. I got who's my 5 team? I can't put New Orleans in there. Jaren Jackson, how long he injured?
They said 6 to 8 months. That was about a month ago. So we're probably thinking by the time the season starts, he'll probably be out at least another 2 to 3 months.
Okay. Let me go with Denver. Fuck it. Yeah.
That's not bad. I like that.
Yeah. And then they added Bruce Brown and KCP. That's Bruce Brown. He's small, but he can guard 1 through 4. And that adding them 2 pieces is going to take pressure off of what's that dude name? Porter? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Porter, he lacks that defense, and he's coming off an injury, and they don't get Jamal Murray back too. You know, because that way they could hide Michael Porter or whatever. You feel me? And then that way he won't be so tired. You know what I mean? Because he sucks on defense. But yeah, that's my top 5 though. And then I got them.
I think you got one surprise in there. I don't mind the other one. I don't know if Dallas is a top 5 team in the league. We can talk about it here in a second once we hear everybody's list. Hold on, let me go to hold on one second. Let me go to hold on. Somebody has some background noise and they might. Let me see who it is. Okay, that's you, TC. TC, you got some background noise or something.
Or is
that C? Oh, that's C Jackson.
Yeah, that ain't me.
Okay, my bad. That's C Jackson.
That's not me.
Hold on, let me go to Zeta Goat. Zeta Goat just pulled up, man. Top 5 teams in the league coming up, man. Who you got?
You can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. What's good?
What's up? Can you repeat your list again?
My list was Sixers 1. I believe they're definitely in the finals if they stay healthy. Lakers 2, Warriors 3, Timberwolves 4, and the Bucks are 5.
You said the Timberwolves at 3?
I got the Timberwolves at 4.
4. Why the Lakers so hot?
Well, I got the Lakers. I got the Lakers high because one, it's to me it's just too. If they stay healthy, which I believe they will be healthy this year, if they stay healthy, they're extremely difficult to guard. And so the second thing is, I don't believe Russell Westbrook was the biggest problem on that team, like most people. I think Russell Westbrook is what I call low-hanging fruit. He's just the easiest target. So people like to target and put all the problems on Russ when really Russ wasn't an issue at all. Russ did have trouble adjusting, but he wasn't costing them games. He wasn't winning and losing games. I mean, if you look at Russ throughout his entire career, he's been a high turnover guy. He never was really leading the league in turnovers. When you look at turnovers, guys like Luka and the LeBrons, they lead the league in turnovers, but they all do just fine. Generally, for the most part, these are high usage guys that turn the ball over a lot. So again, I think Russ was just getting a lot of unnecessary blame as he was making an adjustment. Laker fans obviously always do this. Every year they find somebody to scapegoat for all their problems. And Bees, I got you. I'm dropping that link now. Like I said before in the past, it was trade Kuzma, KCP, and all these guys trade Danny Green. And so now this last year it just happened to be Russ. Put everything on Russ, and he was a scapegoat. So again, I think if they stay healthy, nobody wants to play the Lakers. Nobody wants to see AD healthy. Nobody wants to see LeBron healthy in the playoffs. And then if you add Russell Westbrook, if he finds a way to buy in, and if he does anything similar with regards to numbers that he did last year, along with AD and Russ, you got Thomas Bryant, much improved. You got younger on your bench with Juan Toscano-Anderson, who's solid. His length is a problem. He could defend. Lonnie Walker, again, I'm not high on Lonnie Walker, but he is athletic. I still think he's going to be a bench guy. I don't think they're done filling out this roster. I think there's some vets out there that are floating around that they can bring in that can help give them a better veteran presence, but I think they will be solid. And I think everybody is right now is just a popular thing to be down on the Lakers. I'm just not one to go with the trends. I'm looking at that team, and they are still one of the most talented rosters in the NBA, even with the chemistry issues. 1 second. Let me get this link for Bees.
Well, my teams is I got the Warriors first. I got the Bucks 2.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers 3. Celtics 4. And I got the Nets at 5. 5, right?
Let me ask you, why the Clippers? Why you got the Clippers in there?
Because they're a deep roster for one, and they can defend the team. And when you saying AD and a healthy LeBron, but when Kawhi and PG healthy, they up there with LeBron and AD too. So you got to think that too. I know you probably saying that Kawhi ain't like the same, but I think this season with them like just getting all their guys back, I feel they'll have a good season. And Norman Powell, they bench. They got a lot of guys they can go with.
It is. Look, I don't knock it. I'm more so worried about the top of that roster: John Wall, Kawhi Leonard, and PG. I think again, when maybe one of your guys is injury prone, I can work with that. But all 3 of those guys are injury prone and have had a lengthy injury history. That's what makes me worried. When all 3 of your top guys have that history, and 2 of your top guys haven't played an NBA game in over a year, that is the issue with me. So again, like I said, I'm not knocking it, but I just think they will be one of those teams that struggles for most of the year. They may get into the playoffs, but I think they will struggle, and people will start running the trade talk by trade time, saying we need to trade PG because they're going to find some low-hanging fruit on that roster to blame for the Clippers' failures by the All-Star break. That's what I believe. But again, I could be wrong. I've been wrong a lot. I was wrong about the Lakers last year. wrong about my team. So again, we just have to wait till it plays out, and we'll know for sure then. What up, Bees?
What up, bro?
What's good,
Why
man?
no love for Denver, bro?
Me, I explained my Denver take is similar to the Clippers. I think they will take, because I had them on my list as a team that's going to regress. With Porter Jr. and Murray both having that same injury problem, I don't know if they've made enough other moves on that roster to supplement those guys. You're not going to be able to replace Michael Porter Jr. You already paid him, so you're stuck with him. Murray's not going to be the same coming off injury. You're going to have to put all of the workload on Jokic once again, and you've only surrounded him with a whole bunch of catch-and-shoot guys. I don't know how much they've really improved, if I'm being honest.
Okay. I like KCP on that team, bro.
I do. I like KCP, but he's just a 3-and-D guy. They've had those. They've had the Gary Harris types. They had Gary Harris for the longest. But it only can get you so far. If your stars is going to carry you in the playoffs, KCP's not going to carry them in the playoffs.
Well, no. I fully expect Jamal Murray to be back to 95% of himself by playoffs. So I think you're gonna see. I think you're gonna see a better Jamal Murray than what everybody expects. Now Porter, the book is out on him.
Yep.
But Jamal Murray, I mean, bro, Jokic has been able to carry that team with G League players, bro. I mean, you got to think about how much success Denver's had the last year, but not a very good roster. And I think they found lightning in the bottle in Bones Highland, bro.
Yeah, I like him. I do like him.
So I think Denver is going to be a bigger player in the West than what people got them figured into right now. And then I wanted to ask you your take on the Pelicans.
I had the Pelicans as my wild card team.
Yeah, me too.
Meaning that they're the team that if they play well, it's gonna completely throw a monkey wrench in all of our predictions. Because if things go well for them, they will be the Boston Celtics of this year.
I got them a top 5 seed in the West, FYI.
I could see that in the West. I could definitely see that. That's what I'm saying. If things go well, with people don't realize how good Zion Williamson is. He averaged 27 a game when he was last healthy, and that was when he was overweight. If he gets in just a little inkling of shape, and now he has it in his contract to stay in shape, with CJ, with Brandon Ingram willing to pass and be a team player, defend, with the young guys, the young big, don't they got Herb Jones, who's great. They got the big man who got in trouble, but I forgot his name. They got a lot of talent over there. Alvarado I like what they're doing over there. I love what they're doing. So, I mean, I just couldn't put everything in my list. I gave them some consideration. I know they could be a problem. I'm basically saying they could be. If my list gets messed up, it's going to be because of either the Pelicans or the Mavericks.
Hey,
that's what
And the last thing, it's not a question. It's I think you got the T-Wolves too high. I do think
so?
I do think they are players, but there is one elephant in the room, and I don't know how they get over this hump. What's the snitch's name?
DeAngelo Russell.
This dude's got rocks for brains, bro. He is not a very good point guard. In addition to their ability to not defend the post last year, I thought he was the single most reason for them blowing those leads. His inability to control the offense, and I don't know how he got any better.
It's contract year. That's how he's going to get better.
No.
Contract year. Watch.
Because from a numbers perspective, he can score the ball. That's not the problem.
It's not turning it
So
over a
what?
lot.
So what's the problem?
It's just mental. It's just mental.
He doesn't turn the ball over.
I don't think he can run that team. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I think if they had a more savvy point guard, I do see him when you got him, Lamont. But right now he's it. That's gonna be a problem.
So Bees, let me ask you this: if the Minnesota Timberwolves still had Ricky Rubio, you think they'll be a better team?
Yes.
I don't know about that. You can't shoot. You need somebody to give you spacing.
You need spacing, you do. But at the same time, bro, you got to be able to control pace and space or you're done. When you lose 3 20-point leads, to me, that's a point guard issue. You got to be able to settle your team down and get into the offense. Yeah, there were some defensive problems. So I don't want to put it all on him. But he was giving the ball up to Patrick Beverly, who thought all of a sudden he was Michael Jordan.
Taking clutch shots and ending the game.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Slow the damn ball down and get the ball to Cat. Do something different.
I agree with that. I just think that's experience.
No, it is, but sometimes that part of the game you either have it or you don't, i.e. Russell Westbrook. You don't.
He ain't as dumb as Russell Westbrook. You can't say that, bro. You can't say
Russell
that.
Westbrook's not as dumb as DeAngelo Russell.
There you go.
DeAngelo Russell is the basketball.
I don't know about that. You guys will see. Like I said, I don't blame the NBA for y'all being ignorant about the Timberwolves. I can't blame y'all for that. The NBA don't show their game, so I can't blame y'all for that.
No, bro, I'm not saying that. I think the Timberwolves going to make the playoffs.
No, that's without a doubt. That's easy.
My question is, are they really going to be a real contender? Will they get the point guard play they need to be a true contender? That's my question about that team right now.
And I think right now, I think they honestly wanted to move him. I just don't think they saw anything in the open market right now worth giving them up for, because I was hearing talk about them going after Mike Conley and potentially giving up. But then Mike Conley had his own defensive issues in Utah last year. So I think they will stick with him and just kind of deal with the issues. Maybe you can coach him up defensively, especially with it being his contract year. I mean, we see guys all the time do some crazy things when it's time to get paid.
Yep.
So
he knows that if he doesn't perform, he ain't getting that money from the Wolves or nowhere else.
Hold up, bro. But that's the problem. They don't need him to be a 1 or 2 scorer on that team.
No, he's 3.
But therein lies the problem. He's in a contract year. You get paid based on numbers. And you're gonna have to play a different role than what you've accustomed to.
He was playing 3 last year.
But Bees, if he buys in, let's say he buys in and this team gets to the Western Conference Finals and his numbers are down, but they get farther because he's bought in, he's earned himself. He's gonna get a contract just from that.
Well,
exactly.
But that's the question. That's why I'm questioning.
But it's a good question. I'll give you that.
When I watch him play, all he is to me is an ISO player.
That's why the Warriors got rid of him.
Yep, that's all he is when I watch him play. And so he's got a huge hurdle to cross to run this team.
That's true.
I give you that. He's not.
Hey, do you think? I don't know if they can do it because I don't know what the contracts are.
Okay.
But do you think they could pull off that trade if they could do it to do the signing trade to get Colin Sexton and give up Russell?
I don't know if he.
I wouldn't do Colin Sexton either though, because he's a cheap first too.
I mean, they need to. They got to find
a floor general.
A floor general. They need a floor general right now. because your number 1 and 2 scorers should be Anthony Edwards and Cat, and everybody else gets in where they fit in.
Hey, they should have got Ben Simmons when they had the opportunity. They missed out.
They wouldn't. That what's his name wouldn't trade him. The guy with in Philly, he wouldn't trade him for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other than that, Lamar, I really like the T-Wolves what they did, right?
Hold on. Jason said that's worse. You think Ben Simmons is worse than DeAngelo? I think Ben Simmons with this team would make them elite.
It would be elite.
Because you wouldn't be able to score on us.
No way in hell you would score on that team.
Nope.
And you don't got to worry about him not. I mean, Ben can play make, bro.
Yep.
So I mean, I think that's what their season comes down to, bro. Is if DeAngelo can become a better playmaker and get in where he fits in.
I agree with you on that point. I agree.
But that's all I had, bro. I'll be listening.
Good points, bro.
All right, y'all, man. We're going to get to Zeta Goat. Appreciate you pulling up, man. What you got on this? Or did I get Zay? Who hasn't given their take yet? I think Marvin hasn't given his take yet.
No, you ain't get you haven't got to me. You're right.
Oh yeah, hold on. I gotta get to Marvin.
I ain't getting his take yet.
Hold on, I'm gonna get. I gotta get to Marvin first. Marvin has been waiting. Let me get to Marvin.
Okay.
Marvin, I want you to tell me. First of all, you heard my. I don't know if you heard my top five. Top 5 teams for me is gonna be Sixers, Lakers, Warriors, Timberwolves, and Bucks. I did admit earlier that I probably should have put Chicago in place of the Timberwolves, but I'm going to stick with the Timberwolves because I do like what they've done to improve the team. What would you make any changes to that, and what is your top 5 going into next year?
Salute to the panel, to the chat. First of all, I think cohesiveness has a lot to do with a top 5 list of winning a championship in the NBA. And when you say cohesiveness, do the Lakers have it? Do Minnesota have it yet? I think they have potential, but are they going to gel and mesh this coming year? I'm not sure of that. But I think we all are missing the ball on one team. And it's clear to understand that we probably have, and that's Miami. One of the best defensive teams in the league with a great coach. I don't believe anybody on here mentioned that team not one time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my team is the Bulls. So I'm going to give you my top 5. And I always start with what holds true in winning championships. And that's defense. Good defense makes good offense. And the best 4 defensive teams coming up this year and last year were Miami, Boston, Phoenix, and Golden State. I done heard so many people talk about Phoenix falling off the map. You know why? I believe that? Because we all believe in what have you done for me lately. And Phoenix keep losing. So nobody thinks they're any good. But they won 64 games last year. And I know that's regular season. I don't see them falling off to no 40 games. So I see them 4 as the top 4 simply because they're the best defensive teams out there. Because I don't have a 5th team, because I really feel like the Pelicans and the Bulls are neck and neck.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like they can actually be the 5th team or Philly. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to say this. The reason I say the Bulls, what you've seen when the Bulls was healthy was not a fluke. They were one of the best teams on offense and one of the best teams on defense. When you got a Caruso and Alonzo healthy, you got problems. When you got a healthy Patrick Williams, a healthy Zach LaVine, and a less minute DeMar DeRozan and a less minute Vooch with the addition of Drummond, the Bulls are dangerous. They have one of the deepest benches in the NBA. When you go to the Pelicans, you automatically know they're going to get better when they bring in a Zion. They got a deep young team that plays defense. That's a problem. I do see a problem with you having the Lakers there simply because I believe one mistake and the whole thing blows up. Too many egos, older team. I do want to mention Denver. I can't put them completely up there yet because I'm unsure about injuries. And I never want to forget about the Clippers. The same thing goes, say, with them. If they can stay healthy, they're a problem. So every team that I just mentioned is predicated on health. We all know that. But more than any team on that list that I just gave is the Bulls because of Lonzo Ball. If Lonzo Ball is healthy with the Chicago Bulls, the Bulls are a problem, a true problem.
True.
You look back at their year last year, the day he got hurt, they were actually in first place in the East, top 10 in offense and defense. The combined injuries of Lonzo Ball, Caruso, and Patrick Williams was 162 games last year. We got a chance to see Lonzo Ball and Patrick Williams in less than 100 total minutes last year because if one was there, the other one wasn't. As far as Denver, if they can win 48 games without the two players that's coming back this year, they're a threat. Now Minnesota, I was just listening to the last guy talk about DeAngelo Russell. What do you want from him? He doesn't turn the ball over. He controls the offense halfway decent. He might not look good to you because of his hair or whatever else, but he gets the job done. I don't believe he's a brain dead on the court. DeAngelo, and then we always want to say empty numbers. Right after you said empty numbers, you say you get paid due to your numbers. So I want to get that out of that water right now when everybody say, oh man, numbers are not everything. Numbers is what gets you paid. Numbers is what qualify you as an NBA player. As I don't care if anybody believe it or not, but it's true. Numbers got Joker the MVP last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he runs down the court, looked like he knock needed. It wasn't the way he looked. It was his number. So all I'm saying is this. When you start talking about top five, it's hard to put top five when you combine in both conferences. Because I didn't even mention Milwaukee. Healthy Milwaukee team, we all know what they can be. But the whole key of the matter is this. Health. If you look at the teams that were in the finals last year, first of all, it started with defense. They were two of the top five defensive teams in the league. The teams that were knocked out right before them were Miami and who? Dallas. They were the 3-4 defensive teams in the league, guys. I didn't even get a chance to mention Dallas. A lot of people are low on Dallas. Why would you be low on Dallas? Because they got rid of Brunson, but they brought in Woods and another center, and they getting Hardaway back. Dallas is going to be better. But who's to predict who's going to come out of the West when you have all these top-notch teams over there? Who's going to pick over Golden State? I mean, one thing you have to give to to Golden State is that they have that pedigree. When it comes down to it in the playoffs, they know how to win, period. I don't give a damn what they got. They know how to win. They have the players that know how to win under pressure. That's why my last thing I'm going to mention is Brooklyn. I'm not low on Brooklyn. I'm not super high on them. But if you look at their roster, you can't sleep on them. They got Kevin Durant and they got Kyrie Irving. I'm not going to say what Ben Simmons can do because we all need to see that. But as far as the top five, I say again, I'm going to go with no particular order who's going to win the championship, but I'm going to go with the four top defensive teams, which are Miami, Boston, Phoenix, and Golden State. I'm putting Chicago in there because when they are healthy, they are better defensive team than all of them. And then with the shooting that the Bulls actually have, if they are consistent, the Bulls can be one of the best teams in the league. The Bulls have a couple of problems. It's called health and Billy Donovan. If Billy Donovan can learn how to coach instead of chewing gum all the damn time, the Bulls might be something also. And last but not least, I want to mention Philly. Who's to say Philly's not good enough, guys? They got a squad over there. Now we all be down on James Harden, but this guy's in about his damn near 17th year. If you think about it, how many players been in the league this long and is still sustaining the kind of play that he does? Most players being already started declining, but you still have Joel Embiid, who's one of the best players in the league. And then they picked up PJ Tucker, a small pickup nobody's talking about. a small pickup that could be very large in their run to a championship. I don't want to leave out Miami, though, guys. Nobody on this panel has mentioned Miami. I'm going to make sure I mention Miami again because they were the number 1 seed coming out of the East last year, and nobody picked them to even be in the top 5 of you guys' list. I don't know if you guys think Miami's going to go away or if they're not quite good enough, but they got a damn good coach and they play solid defense. That's championship-style basketball. So I'm just going to leave it there. And I do want to say the Pelicans are up-and-coming, one of the top up-and-coming young clubs in the league. Minnesota can have a chance, but that's going to be predicated on cohesiveness. I don't think they'll get it all together in 1 year. And then last but not least, I want to say Denver. If they can stay healthy, look out. Oh, I'm sorry. And I don't want to leave out the Clippers. Those 2 teams to me, well, 3 teams in health more than anything. Bulls, Denver, Clippers, they all 3 can be taken.
I talked about the Heat. My problem with the Heat was, one, they didn't do anything to get better. They actually got worse. They lost one of their best defensive players. So you can never be better, especially if you lose one of your better defensive players. And then they never did anything to address offense. When teams clamp up on them, who's going to be the guy that you give the ball and say, I need you to go get me a bucket right now? And I think
I agree.
They've
totally
started to become easy out against really good teams. Against the good teams, I mean, I know they were just, they fought tooth and nail against Boston. Literally one wrong bounce away from sending Boston home.
Yeah, one shot. You're right.
And, they're going to put up that type of fight. But I don't know if they consistently, teams fear them. And I think it's because Jimmy Butler is their best player.
Yeah,
Jimmy Butler's feared defensively, but not offensively.
I say this and I let the other guys go. The whole key with Miami is firepower, meaning offense. But one thing about a good defense, it keeps you in games. The whole playoffs, they were being outplayed offensively, but their defense kept them in games. They were outmanned against Boston. They took them all the way to the wire because of their defense. Now, I agree with you totally. If I spoke with this to a guy the other night. If you lose a PJ Tucker and you do not replace him, how do you consider your team getting better? If you have a Kyle Lowry who showed decline last year and he's 1 year older, how do you feel your team is going to get better? The only thing that I keep clamping on Miami is Eric Spoelstra and defense. You can go to so many different sports and look at so many things wrong with teams, but if you say they have a solid defense, they are always in the equation. So I just don't want to count them out because they play good defense. I'm not saying they're going to win the championship, even though they were one shot away from going to the conference final, to the championship last year. But I just can't say they're going to win it simply because they did not upgrade. And I really feel like they needed a little more help at the big man spot with PJ on the team and to get rid of him and not address the big man spot. But who's to say they won't do that at the trade deadline? But we're having this conversation before the season starts. So like I said, I guess I can say we can't take anything from Golden State. They won the championship. But I think Golden State had kind of an easy ride to get there. They didn't really never struggle through anybody until they really ran into Dallas. And Dallas really didn't play their game. They could have played a better game against them. And Dallas was kind of nicked up. And I really believe Boston would have gave them a better shot, but they went through a grueling playoff run to get there. And I think they ran out of gas and was out-coached. And like I say, when I mentioned the other 2 teams, which are Phoenix, and then I didn't even mention Memphis. And the reason I didn't is because of Jackson's injury. That really hampers this team to an extent that a lot of people probably don't realize. He was a key cog on their defense. They were ranked in the top 5 on 2 top categories on defense last year, due primarily because of Jackson. Well, he's not going to be there. That's going to be a big drop. So I didn't put them in the top 5 because of that. If he was there, I actually probably would have had them there, but it's hard to put just 5 teams in there. So I just wanted to say the 4 I did, and then I'm telling you guys, Pelicans and the Bulls are teams to look out for. They're young, they got good defense, and they do have good coaching. Now the Pelicans have a better coach. I believe Billy can coach better, and I think Billy can use the bench of the Bulls better. But I think the Pelicans coach is really getting all that he can out of that team, and with the addition of Zion coming back, that's a team to look out for.
All right, let me get to.
I want to say, Lamont, I want to say something about all that.
Hold on. I'm gonna open it up for everybody just to cook. I got to get to these last couple takes because we got True King, we got Kobe Jordan, and we still got, I think, Big Fan Breezy. Let me go to Kobe Jordan, man.
I haven't gone yet.
Who's that? Who said they haven't gone yet?
TC.
Oh, TC. All right. Yeah, we got you here. Let me make sure I don't forget you. Hold on, Big Fan Breezy, you there? You gotta take yourself off mute.
Skill.
Yeah, he ain't ready, man. Hold on. If he ain't responding, we gotta open up the spot. All right, man. Hold on. Go ahead, TC.
All right, what was your top 5 list again?
Sixers at 1.
Okay.
Lakers at 2. Warriors at 3. Timberwolves at 4, and the Bucks at 5.
I would swap the Lakers with the Bucks in your list.
I had the Bucks at 5.
Yeah, no, I'm swapping the Lakers and
okay.
Their spots because I just believe with Father Time and injuries, I just worry about the Lakers. So the Lakers, Clippers, even Denver, they're all in this whole injury debate where they have to be perfectly healthy for things to work out. And I do agree with your take on Denver about your boy Michael Porter. He's always going to be hurt. I'm going to tell you all that right now. He's always going to get hurt. He's hurt so bad that their GM left and went to Minnesota because he knew that was a bad contract. He signed for that dude. Another wild card, I think. So my list is the same, except I would just swap the Lakers and the Bucks. That's about it. And I just believe that the Heat, the guy was correct about the Heat. They'll be a good regular season team, but come playoff time, it's just Jimmy and 4 bums, not enough scoring. So I agree with him on that point. I agree. They're gonna be good.
Bam not a bum though.
Yeah, Bam's not a
good regular season team, but in the playoffs, it's gonna be kind of hard because Jimmy needs help, and plus Jimmy's getting a little bit older too. So,
well, I don't think Jimmy's a scorer first. Jimmy's a guy that's developed himself into somewhat of a scorer, but when you really need a bucket in that fourth quarter to sustain some of these runs, you can't go to Jimmy because teams are going to slow it down. They're going to make you play half court.
Yep.
And
I think he needs more help, though. I think he just needs more. If you're going to have Jimmy, he has to have more help.
Well, exactly. I think they expected a little bit more out of Kyle Lowry. Obviously, I mean that's why they told Kyle Lowry in the offseason, you need to get in shape ASAP. So he's done a good job of getting in shape. And I mean, you guys seen the pictures out there.
Yeah, don't Philly cheesesteaks. He don't Philly cheesesteak down.
He's old.
Yeah, he's up there. He's a lot older probably than what most people believe he is.
Right,
He's just
same size Lamont. But I look at
yeah, and then they didn't replace PJ Tucker, so they'll be good because like dude said, Eric Spoelstra's a good coach and they play defense. But other than that, I don't know.
All right, hold on. Let me get to True the King because you see True the King's over here cracking jokes. So we want to hear his list because True the King.
Hold up. He said hold on, Lamont. He said you and Kyle Lowry.
He caught that.
No, that's not true at all.
He caught that PZ.
That's not true at all. That's not true at all.
Got the same taper face. It's like, let me stop, man.
No, okay, well, true. Yeah, I need you to address this anyway. I had the Celtics on my list of the teams that will be overrated and will flop. I had the Clippers, Grizzlies, Celtics, Nuggets, and Suns. These are the teams that everybody's throwing around in their top 5, top 10. But these are the teams that I expect to flop and not do anything close to what they did this year. Tell me about yourself. Man. Because one of the players that you were raving about in Gallinari is out now.
Yeah. Well, he'll be back. He'll be back soon. He ain't got no tear no ligament.
No,
he tore his meniscus.
But it's not he ain't torn no ligament though, or no ACL tear. So he be back. It's 6 to 8 weeks. That's the best case scenario.
Hold on, let me look that.
And he's our ninth man. So
y'all got 9 players?
Yeah, we got 9 players. We talking about? We talking about? We
want
the deepest team. We one of the deepest teams in the NBA. We talk about.
I didn't see that against the Warriors.
I didn't. Well, I didn't say last year. We talking about going in next year. So
all y'all added was Malcolm Brogdon.
Gallinari.
He's hurt.
You can't play Pritchard in the playoffs.
Bro, he's not gonna miss the whole season, bro. Let's not act like he's gonna be gone 6 to 8 weeks. When the NBA season start, like, come on, bro. Like
October or something.
Exactly. Like,
hold on. Mark C says the moderator is delusional. What did I say that was delusional?
Because you was listen, the Celtics. Listen, in the past 6 years, the Celtics been to 4 Eastern Conference. Listen, I know the shortened season. The short turnaround season, that was a bad year last year. Brad Stevens was coaching. And then, the bad start of last year, but this team has been a contending team for a while and getting better. So I don't understand the overrating and the flop. But that's neither here or there. But my top 5 teams going power rankings, I got the Warriors. I got the Celtics. I got the Bucks. Number 4. That can get tricky.
Mm-hmm.
That can get tricky.
Wait a minute. Who you got at number 1 again?
I got Warriors. They won the championship.
Okay.
I like the moves they did in the offseason. I can't cap.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Number 4 and 5.
You got the Clippers out there. You got the Grizzlies, Suns.
I'm gonna say Denver number 4. I know. I'm going off of everybody's gonna be healthy. Hey, I could be wrong. I got Denver number 4. Number 5, I got
who else?
Sixers.
Let's do. Fuck it. I don't care. You can put a lot of people in that 5 spot. You can put a lot of people in that 5 spot. Honestly, though, that 5 spot can get tricky. 5 and 4. I just think the 3 teams I named, those are like the 3 teams. Like those are the 3 teams right there. The dangerous teams in the NBA, in my opinion. They're how the defense. When it comes to the defense, all just well rounded. They well coached.
Ghost Town is really perturbed by somebody on the panel.
Oh, that's me.
You said Bama bummed. That was not crazy.
I'm talking about scoring wise.
Ghost Town.
Tyler Hero's not a bum either. You just won
Max I like Max Strauss as shooter though.
Hold on. We all know that 6 Man of the Year award ain't really as all that, because if you go back and look at the last couple 6 men, they not in the NBA. You got Schroeder and Montrez ain't
come on, Schroeder. I heard Schroeder gonna be on Portland.
No, Schroeder's going to Charlotte.
I'm like,
that's a good point.
Wait a minute.
Didn't Pat Riley said if you was good enough, you would actually start the Tyler Hero? Didn't he say something like that?
That nigga lie. Come on, that's Pat Riley.
But wait a minute, though, Lamar.
Pat Riley can say anything anybody.
What up, Mingle?
The only reason why Montrezl Harrell not in the NBA is because of that drug thing. That's the only reason.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
What about Dennis
Schroeder?
It's
That's the main reason.
What about Dennis Schroeder?
He weighing his options. Maybe he weighing his options, bro. You got.
I do believe a lot of these awards are media driven, so I don't give too much stock into them. You know what I mean?
Well, Schroeder playing overseas right now too. To be fair, he probably busy.
No, Bam. Hold on. Bam is not garbage, but he did regress a lot last year. He took a step back. He was not as dominant.
So defensively,
yeah, I was talking about merely offensively. Now, Hero will get his shots up, but I think a big mistake Miami did was giving Duncan Robinson $90 million. That was crazy.
You know why that's not a mistake, though? Because in this day and age, that's the going rate for shooters. Bertans, Joe Harris. I mean, all the shooters are getting paid like that. So the other shooters set the foundation. I mean, this is why LeBron has been struggling to build teams. Because remember, before in the past, he's been able to get all these shooters for the low. You can't get shooters for the low no more.
But 90 million?
I mean, but 90 million now is not the same as what 90 million.
Right, you gotta get. It's rare to get a shoot. Like you have to really like. I was probably got like I was surprised Celtics got Gallinari. To be honest with you, at first I was like,
Gallinari trash.
And then they didn't even play the
Davis Bertans worth 85? Is Davis Bertans wasn't even starting for Dallas? Is he worth 85?
Nope.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but shooting is a premium.
I know, but the dude didn't even play in the playoffs.
Davis
Bertans played a little bit. He played a little bit in the playoffs. But who said that? Who put a lot of respect on the Bulls though? That's what I'm like. That was ridiculous.
I had something to say about that.
That was ridiculous, right?
What you mean? Too much respect on the Bulls?
Because even when the Bulls was healthy last year, like healthy last year, they were still struggling against teams above 500. Like, let's not act like
they
that
was
didn't
beating
happen.
bums. They was beating those low
That's
teams.
Marvin said that. Marvin's still on the panel. He can explain it to you.
I'm just saying, like,
were trash.
DeMar DeRozan, listen. The only person you really can count on the Bulls right now is DeMar DeRozan. That's not really saying that much.
And you can't even count on him because guess what? The Bulls is literally the Toronto
DeMar
Raptors
DeRozan
in
needs some
Chicago.
help. DeMar DeRozan needs some help, man. DeMar DeRozan needs some help.
Trash. Man, the Bulls ain't hitting on that.
Andre Drummond. Then you're going to swoop up the Andre Drummond. First of all, Andre Drummond game is outdated. He can't guard outside the paint. He fouls too much. I mean, like, come on, man.
The Bulls
Are we
garbage.
serious?
Well, they do got to build an excuse that they were hurt. So we got to see them healthy.
I mean, everybody dealt with injuries last year. Even the best teams. They dealt with.
Like, that's why I can't shit on the Lakers because they had injuries throughout the whole year.
Every team had injuries.
Even the Celtics, even when the Celtics had a bad start, Celtics had injuries they were dealing with. Jaylen Brown was missing games. There was no excuse.
Yep.
It is what it is.
I'm not gonna say that. It depends upon how many games you miss. I mean,
Robert Williams was missing games. LeBron missed games.
It's common sense. It's just common sense. If your best players are missing, half the season, then your team ain't gonna be good.
But all I'm saying is that even when they was healthy, though, when they was playing the best teams, they were still losing, even when they was healthy.
Wasn't there one time they were like number one in the East before
right? But they was being, but they were
Peter.
still losing. You can go look at yourself. They were still losing to the teams above 500.
Yep.
They were still losing.
They trash, man. The
Bulls. And let's talk about Lonzo Ball. If we talking about, Lonzo. I heard y'all talking about Michael Porter Jr. Lonzo Ball been hurt every year.
Yeah, you right about that.
Yep.
Lonzo Ball when he gonna be reliable?
Yep.
I mean, then you got the Bucks. Chris Middleton literally missed the whole series.
Oh, hey, Joseph said Serge re-signed with the Bucks, so Serge.
He didn't even play. That nigga didn't even play. He averaged 30 hand claps a game.
We talking about
Serge Ibaka? What are he going to do? Serge Ibaka?
No, Serge was playing. No,
Serge was not playing with Celtics. Serge didn't play. He did not get no key. Serge didn't really get no Celtics, bro.
Get sick.
Come on, man.
Play Serge.
I wish Serge was playing that Celtics series. Then we'd be up by 20. We'd be up by 20. He stepped on.
But as Middleton had injuries constantly though, or was this was just a
Middleton's usually healthy.
Yeah, so you can't throw that in there. We're talking about people that are chronically injured, like Michael Porter,
like Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah,
I knew it was bad when Denver's GM left that job to come to Minnesota. Why would you do that?
Hold on.
You mean like Anthony Davis?
No,
I mean, we open the door.
True the King, Ghost Town been going at you, man. True the King, we gonna.
How many hand you average? The many hand class motherfucker be smacking your head in that profile picture.
B, what you call Anthony Davis? Soft serve, huh?
Yeah, bro.
I agree with you too.
I know.
Hey, hold on, y'all. When Bees is negative against a player, it's usually because that player probably cost them some money in a bet. So
I ain't true. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that.
Hey, bro, the day the Lakers won the championship in the bubble, bro, I'm on record as saying trade that.
He was on here. He was on here, Lamont. He was on here, Lamont.
I told everybody then he ain't what you think he is. If you go back and watch him last year, bro, the dude, the jumper is broken, and all he is Anthony Capella now.
That's not true.
Anthony Capella. That's funny as shit, bro.
That is not true.
The number one issue with the Los Angeles Lakers, and that's why I'm gonna have a ball this year if they don't win. If he don't come back and start balling, because everyone's gonna blame Russ. But the real issue is you got a year 20 LeBron, and he gonna be your best fucking player.
Yep, I agree.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
You can't be on the team, call yourself a top 10 player, be Anthony Davis, and walk out on the court, and everybody say, well, LeBron in year 20, and he can't even run 3 suicides. That nigga still better than
you right, though. You right.
That nigga you can't even run 3 suicides.
Man, I ain't doing it. LeBron be like, I ain't doing that shit.
Let me say one thing, guys. Let me step in and say one thing. I was just listening to one of the guys talking about the injuries and chronic injuries around the league mean something. Mm-hmm. I want to address 2 players that you guys were talking about, and that's Anthony Davis and Lonzo Ball. And when I started my conversation earlier, one thing I expressed, and I always go back to this, is we always believe in what have we done for me lately. Mm-hmm. You just said Lonzo Ball is always hurt. He played 35 games with the Bulls last year. Year before that, 55 with New Orleans, 63 the year before that. He's not always injured. Anthony Davis, he played 2 years with the Lakers, been injured. 6 straight years before that, he was not injured. He's not always injured. It's what have you done for me lately? It's what have you done for me lately is what we all remember. And to the Boston Celtics, let me say this, to the Boston Celtics, the same guy who was talking about these injuries, talking about every team has injuries. The Boston Celtics was the least injured team last year, and it showed how far they went in the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
They were badly hurt.
Do you consider Kawhi Leonard an injured player?
Well, when you miss a complete season,
it's just yes or no, brother.
I would say yes, because he missed more than a complete season.
Because if you
complete season,
if you tally the games between AD and Kawhi, they only got like 30 games apart. Kawhi missed 30 more games than AD. So how can Kawhi be injury prone and AD not?
Because it's what I just mentioned. What have you done for me lately? Kawhi's been more injured the last couple of years.
What do you mean? Anthony Davis ain't played half a season the last 2 years.
Yep.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I'm not. But who's the youngest? Who's had the chance to get back in quick?
And just remember, the nigga got. If they don't, this is just my opinion. I can't prove this. Without that COVID break, the nigga don't make it. The Lakers don't make it to the finals.
That's an assumption. We don't.
Hold on, the Lakers were like first in the West, weren't they?
He's got a good point, though. He's got a good point.
He's got a point, but that's an assumption. That's not the bona fide truth.
It's an assumption, but check this out. They got a 4-month break, and the nigga got hurt in the finals.
Everybody had a 4-month break, so that's not.
No, we talk about AD though. We're not just talking about everybody.
I'm telling you that he got a 4-month break. He had Knicks and Knacks that season, got a 4-month break, and he was hurt. He got hurt in the playoffs.
Well, listen, I'm not taking up for AD. I know he's been hurt. I'm just saying he's been in the league for a certain amount of time. The last couple of years, he's been hurt. So we all feel like he's been hurt his whole career. He has not been hurt his whole career. That's all I'm saying. The last 2 years, he's been hurt. Years before that, he was not hurt.
That was not true at all.
Well, look at his stats.
We look at his game.
What's your name, my man?
Marvin.
Okay, we're gonna see here.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up now. I just brought it up the other day to a couple of more people, and I didn't because I thought he would be injured quite a bit. But if you look at his numbers, It's been the last 2 or 3 years, and years before that, he wasn't injured.
It don't look good, bro.
Fuck them numbers.
No, it's numbers. If you
got
ain't
T-shirts.
played
You talking
80
about
to
playing
90% of
games?
your
All right,
games,
what does injury count for? Games
Yeah,
or
you
what?
captain
Aren't
Lonzo
those
Ball too, though.
numbers?
You don't
Aren't
want to look at
those
Lonzo
numbers?
Ball in the games he played. Because
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball never even played 70 games in the season before.
Hold on, let me see. Hey, he is kind of right about AD though.
No, he ain't kind of right. This
He is.
But the last four, but
He
you look at
is
the last
right.
4
I
or
mean,
5
you got to
seasons,
think.
though. The last
In
4 or
20,
5
in
seasons.
2019-20, he played 62 games. Now you could go back to 2018.
hold on, I got the number right here. Kawhi's missed 31% of his games. Anthony Davis has missed 23% of his games.
23 and 31 is a huge amount. That's a big difference.
No, it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is.
it's not.
Why? All right. Well, wait.
That is when we're talking about
Why,
when we're talking about over
if it's
200
not,
games.
why would one be 21 and one be 30?
Hold on. I'm gonna tell
I'll
you
give
why.
his point for the last two
I'm gonna tell you why. Because
in the bubble year.
when I told you that they're only like 40 games apart, there's your 6-8%. Kawhi missed the entire season last year. AD played 40 games. That's the
All right.
difference.
Here's AD's numbers.
Hold on, bro. Coming into the season, AD and Kawhi were only like 6 games apart in missed games.
Hold on. Since when though? Since when?
No, he's doing the math.
He's talking about the last 2 to 3 years. He's talking about the last 2 to 3 years.
Because you have to think in 2019-20, he played most of that season because that was a shortened season.
But what he's saying is this. He's saying the only reason why AD's played more is because of this year.
Right.
AD was only able to get 40 games out, where Kawhi didn't play the whole entire series, year.
But he still played. You can't take it away from him.
Right? No. But that's what he's
I'm
saying.
saying that's the difference between the two of them.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, let me say this. Here's his numbers.
This entire year, he's
1,
been
2,
injured.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years in the league. 64 games, 67 games, 68 games, 61, 75, 75, 56, 62, and the last 2 years, 36 and 40. Every
remember
year
that
before
62
that,
it's closer to the 75 because remember that year that was shortened season. They only played what?
Every year besides the last 2 years, Anthony Davis has been there. Now, like I said, I understand what you're saying, but I'm not comparing him to Kawhi Leonard. I'm talking about you guys saying that he's injury prone.
Yeah, because I compare him to Kawhi Leonard, bro. That's
Why
what I'm saying.
you can't? I'm talking about him just being considered injury prone. I don't care nothing about Kawhi. You want to mention Kawhi Leonard? I'll bring his numbers up. I'm talking about
bro.
Anthony Davis.
Hey, bro, this nigga left a game last year because he had the bubble guts, bro.
All right, check that out. All right, I got a question for you. I got a question for you. We can laugh and joke. We can hold up. We can laugh and joke about it all we want to.
I'm not joking, bro. I'm being serious.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Give me 3 players.
Didn't AD have like a hangnail too?
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Give me 3 players in the Give me 3 players in the NBA that played 82 games last year.
Mikal Bridges.
I think Jokic did.
That's one.
No, he did too. No, he did. I think he did a year before though.
Now look how hard you. Wait a minute. I asked for 3 players. That's it. Just 3.
Bro. Here, Kawhi has been in the league 1 year longer than Anthony Davis. Okay, Lamont. Here's total games played. Total games played. Anthony Davis has played 604. Kawhi has played 576.
So that means neither one of them was basically injury prone. If that's the case.
Jokic, Mikal Bridges, and Kevon Looney. Them the 3 that play 82 games.
Okay, that's 3 players out of how many players in the league?
Hey, that's what you asked for, didn't it?
Yeah,
Hey, sir.
Yeah.
So you got so much confidence in AD.
I'm a Bulls fan. I'm just saying you guys come up
You was capping on that. You was capping on that bullshit. No pun intended.
That's your thought. I can care less what you think.
Hold up, True. Hey, you're a Bulls fan. AD from Chicago. I bet you $1,000 this nigga don't play.
Shit. Oh shit.
Hold on. How many games?
Oh shit.
How many you say? Oh, I ain't taking that bet. Hell no.
60?
Too many players can play.
No, you got it. Hold on. We'll do.
Oh shit.
You want that smoke?
It's
You want that smoke?
65% of the league won't play 62 games.
What the fuck you talking about?
No, hold on.
Just what the fuck I just said.
I'll do
what the fuck I'm talking about.
I'll do 57 or more.
This youngster, boy, who you think you talking to?
You just throw that. You just said a random number. You just said a random number. 52%.
No, that's not a random number. No, it's not.
You damn sure ain't.
Hey, that's more like 58, 55. That nigga may squeeze that out. 60?
You damn right. 60 games? That's a lot of games in the NBA nowadays.
Nah. Hold up.
Yeah,
62 games, a lot of games. 10 more, you done played a complete season.
Damn right. Go to your team,
82,
whoever that said
82
62
games,
games ain't enough.
82 games.
Go to
It's
your
like
team, whoever that was who said the 62 games ain't a lot. Look
You're
at your
like
team and see how many of your players played 62 games last
You
year.
want me to do it? You want me to do it? I'll do it right now.
Yeah, do it. Go ahead and do it. Who's your
right
team?
now.
Who's your team?
Celtics. I'll do it right now.
The Celtics wasn't hurt last year. They were not hurt last year.
That's right. That's why they got as far as they did, because they weren't hurt.
And the only thing, let me finish this by
So
saying
Jalen Brown didn't get hurt.
the only time the Celtics was hurt last year is when they got their ass kicked in the finals.
Like the Bulls did. Like the Bulls. By the Bulls did. Hold up. By the Bulls, like you did. Like your Bulls did.
That's when they got hurt. Hey, you know what? I'd rather lose in the first round. I'd rather lose in the first round than the finals any damn day.
Dumb as shit. I'd rather lose in the first round.
I'd rather lose in the first round any day than lose in the finals. I'd rather lose in the first round.
Nah, man, you always
you lost this world of your own.
never want to lose in the first round.
I love you. Rather lose in the first. Hey, Lamont, we got one. We got one, Lamont. I'd rather lose in the first round than the finals. Dumb as, like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd rather lose in the first round.
Come on,
that don't make no sense.
I'm not losing in the first round, bro. I always rather lose in the finals.
Shit, you got
So
y'all
all right,
got
let
your
me ask you
ass
this. All
whooped.
right, let me
Y'all
ask you
got your
this. So
ass whooped by the
what
Bucks.
accomplishments did the damn Celtics get by
Mac
losing
Def said he
in the
bet you
fucking
200
We
on the
won.
same
The
bet.
Celtics won the Eastern Conference Finals title last year.
Celtics gonna get their ass whooped again this year.
We whoop your ass. First of all,
Hey,
let's
Lamar,
do
you can hear me?
this. Y'all can't beat us. I know y'all can't beat us. I know that.
You make sure you back on this panel when they play this year. We
1998.
kicked y'all ass last year too.
Hold on. Who asked me if they could hear? If I could hear?
Casey Steele, 1998.
No, that was me, Kobe Jordan. I'm gonna get my
Kobe. Yeah, Kobe Jordan. We still got to get your. We got to get your take on this, and we got to get Steve Jackson up.
I just want to set the cap straight, Lamont. You capping early.
Hold on. Let me get the Kobe Jordan first. We're gonna see what else got.
All right, so for the top favorites to win the championship this year, number 5 I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Brooklyn Nets. I think they're gonna get it together this year. They just got a lot of talent, and I think they kind of determined to kind of make some noise. I got Miami Heat at number 4. I like Jimmy Butler. I just think they got to add another star. Oladipo. I don't know what he's doing. This dude, he's played 80 games the last four seasons. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a role they need somebody to kind of contribute heavy to. So they need another dominant scorer. In my opinion, number 3, I got the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis, Chris Middleton, them dudes is ready to get back to it. I like the Joe Ingles pickup. I think that's going to help him on the wing. I do got the Clippers, or my Clippers, at number 2. Kawhi Leonard. Like I said, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a fan of this team, but I am concerned because, like you say, man, that what is it? The ACL injury, those laterally, that's kind of
that nigga stay hurt.
That's what I'm saying. So for me, it's like, but I've seen seasons where he's came back and he's dominated. And then if you look at 2021, he averaged 32 and 8 in the playoffs right before he got injured. So I think that when he is healthy, he is dominant. So I still got, and I think they're deeper. Ty Lue is to me, top 3 coach in the NBA right now, and so I got them at number 2. Golden State, man, this team for me is scary because Klay's back, he's fully healthy. Draymond, these dudes is deeper now. Even DiVincenzo, they got a lot more size. I got them still as the favorites. And this team is, man, top 5 in almost every category. You look at defense efficiency, offensive rating, assist. I mean, they're a team that you gotta actually beat this team. You're not going, talent alone can't beat them. So that's my top 5. I got a close 6 coming in with the Denver Nuggets. I still think that Jokic is a monster. I think he's the best center in the league. I think he's just a killer. A wild card I'm gonna have to go with I got 2 wild cards. I got the Pelicans, and then in the East, and then I got the East. I got the Toronto Raptors. Believe it or not, I really believe this Toronto Raptors team. I think Scotty Barnes, man. I think this dude is finna jump to a star status within the next year or two. So that's my top 6 or top 5. And then if you talk about teams that flop or regress, I'm gonna go number 5. I think the Celtics will actually regress. Teams are gonna be able to kind of figure them out a little bit more. Of course, I got the Utah Jazz number 4. They lost pretty much their whole team. Philly, I just don't believe in Philly, man. I got this thing called the Doc Rivers effect. I'm gonna tell you about it, but yeah, that's number 3. Number 2, I got Memphis. Just injuries, not replacing certain pieces. I like, Milton. I like some of those guys, and then Phoenix Suns, man. I just think that Chris Paul is older, and then they just, to me, they kind of reached their ceiling. So that'll be my top teams to flop.
Man, y'all put too much stock in Milton, man. Y'all gotta stop that.
Hold on, too much stock in who?
In Milton, bro.
It's not
just
like,
how you gonna put stock in a 90, 40, 50 player?
No, but it's the combination of the 3 players: Jaren Jackson, Melton, and
Kyle Anderson.
Slow-mo.
Yep.
But Lamar, like I said, even though Jaren Jackson's hurt, he's gonna be back in December. By then, they'll play almost 20-some games, so he'll be back for at least 75% of the season. And then at the same time, Slow-mo, he's gonna be a big contributor that we're gonna miss. But we got guys like Zion Williams who's gonna be able to pick up the pieces and play the similar role that he played. And D'Anthony Melton, well, I mean, he had spurts in the regular season, but the dude was inconsistent in the playoff and shot like 20% from the 3. Like John Conchar, he can do the same thing that Milton do, and he shoot better from the 3. So, ain't nobody really heard of Milton till at the last year. Before last year, did nobody know who he was?
That's not true.
He's an undersized 2 guard, and I mean, dude, he's too inconsistent. So, I mean, his production is very replaceable. I mean, a lot of people put too much stock in him. Like, we're going to be all right. I agree with you that we're probably going to regress a little bit, but not for the same reasons. Because I feel like we got a lot of young guys on our team who we're going to try to develop as the season goes along. But we still got pieces that can produce while Jaren Jackson is gone, with Xavier Tillman and Brandon Clark coming out the bench. So, I mean, we're going to be all right.
You say Middleton is
but
over.
I said
Milton. I said Milton.
Lost Kyle Anderson too.
Milton.
Bro.
Okay, Milton. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle Anderson, he's gonna be a big loss, but like I said, man, I mean, Zaire Williams, he's like 6'8", 6'9" too as well. He's probably don't have like the size as far as weight wise, but he does the same thing. I mean, he's a solid defender. He's a solid. I mean, he's just one of those guys who's really not gonna make dumb plays and lose you games. I mean, he makes all the correct reads.
But TC, do you think Jaren Jackson Jr. will be the same when he come back off that injury? Do you think he'll be the same player, same production, everything?
Nope. I mean, he's been hurt. He's been hurt before, and he came back all right. So I don't see why he'll take a setback. Like, dude is still young. Y'all act like dude, like 30 years old, coming off his fourth
What kind of injury does he have, guys? What kind of injury does he have?
He has a stress fracture in his foot.
Yeah, that's big for a big man. You know that.
That's basically a broken foot.
Yeah,
broken
foot. I want to ask the Celtic fan on here. What's your update on Gallinari? You hadn't mentioned.
He tore his meniscus. He should be back in 8 weeks.
How long is he out?
Knowing Gallinari, it's going to take him at least 15 to 16 weeks.
Man, we ain't doing that. You a hater. You a hater for that, man. You see,
I just want to listen. No, this is what reason I'm asking this. Because everybody else's teams, when they injured, and a Boston team that wasn't injured last night, they say everybody get injured. Now Gallinari is hurt. Let's see how much that hurts the Boston Celtics.
Bro, Robert Williams only played 61 games last year, bro. I don't know what you
real quick. Hey, the
61. That's damn near a whole season.
It's almost 80%. Almost 80%.
What you say about Memphis?
The dude who's a Memphis Grizzlies fan, hey bro, I think they're gonna have a good regular season, but I'm saying we talking about championship.
Hold on, now the Clipper fan. Now this shit right here.
So let me ask you a question. So with Memphis, right? Who do you?
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna get to the second round this year in the playoffs. Because what team do you see them beating in the playoffs this year in the West?
I mean, every team besides the Golden States and maybe the Clippers. Well,
No, I disagree. I don't think
we
they
can
can
beat
get
them
past
too. It's just
Dallas
gonna
or Denver.
Your worst matchup is actually against Dallas.
That's facts.
Nah. I mean, they do give us some trouble with mismatches, but I still think we can beat them. I still think we can beat
every
them.
team get the Bulls trouble. Every team get the Bulls trouble.
No, they don't. You say that because we were hurt.
The Bulls ain't gonna get out the first
Here's
round.
the deal. Here's the deal. It's the same guy who just mentioned
the Bulls. The Bulls gonna be a playing.
When the Bulls went in the All-Star break last year and was a half game out of Billy Donovan being the coach of the All-Star team, you wasn't saying a damn word.
I was saying that. Ask
Lamont.
I was saying that. Ask Mingle Jester. What was I saying? I was
talking about saying it was trash. And was.
Nobody believed in the Bulls all year, bro.
All right, here's the deal.
Bulls ain't doing
At that time, the Celtics wasn't even one game over 500. So at that time, the Celtics wasn't number one game over 500. Everybody
started
said
off
they
the
wasn't
season pretty good.
Yeah, he trying to hype the Bulls up like they the 96 Bulls or something.
But guess what though? The Celtics still got a better record than the Bulls last year. So where was y'all at? Y'all was fighting not to be a playing team.
We were hurt.
Man, look, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's do this. 40 teams fully healthy. Y'all not. We beat y'all in 3 games. We beat y'all in 3 games. They ain't gonna beat no need for 4.
Y'all not better than Memphis. I mean, y'all not better than the Celtics. You're not better than the Sixers. You're not better than the Cavs.
All that noise about the Celtics beat us 3 games. They beat us by 2 points. One game.
I'm talking about the play. Hypothetically, we play on the playoff. We beat y'all in 3 games. Hypothetically, we see y'all in the playoff. We beat y'all in 3 games.
That's you talking. That's why you ain't on the team. That's you talking. You ain't on the team. That's why they lost the championship, because you figure they're gonna be
y'all best player is DeMar DeRozan, and y'all second best player is Zach LaVine. Lonzo Ball ain't playoff. Lonzo Ball ain't played.
Bad as the Boston Celtics were exposed last year, you need to shut up.
How he was exposed? Hold on. How he was exposed? How we was exposed?
Golden State.
We lost in 6 games. How we got exposed? We lost to the number 1 team, favorite to win the championship probably again next year.
Now you making excuses about a number 1. The Bulls lost to the defending champs. I don't bring that up.
Hey, y'all had no listen. Y'all had no business even winning, even the game.
I knew you a stutter. Like I said, I'll be back on this panel, and when the Bulls whooping the Celtics in their ass,
you ain't be listen. That's a pipe dream. This is not the 90s. This is not the 90s. This is not the 90s.
Listen,
hey, hold on. Now, true. Do you want to make a side bet that the Celtics don't get back to the finals?
Man, yeah, how about Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen?
Oh, let's do that. Hold on. What's the dude that's a Bulls fan? I bet that the Celtics going to be better than the Bulls next year too. We can do that bet. How about that?
We can damn sure do that. We do head-to-head games. I ain't betting on other teams.
We ain't doing no head-to-head games. We had the better.
Oh, you don't want to do that? You scared of that?
Man, listen, we'll blow y'all out. Hold on, y'all do realize Celtics was blowing niggas out last year too.
No, true. Just do the first 5 games.
Game over 500 at the break. What the hell is you talking?
The first 5 games, we can do that. We do the first 5 games.
Hold on, True.
Now make it 10. Make it 10.
Celtics one game over 500 at the break. He's about there blowing people out.
Wait, check this out then. Y'all should bet at the All-Star break. Who had the best record at the All-Star break?
No, we bet against each team. We play each other 4 times. We bet on each game. I ain't betting against no damn Washington.
Back-to-back games. I'm
betting against Boston.
Back-to-back games. I'm not doing that because I hope we're not playing.
Why? You scared to bet against the Bulls?
I'm not doing that. I seen it in the schedule. I'm not doing that.
You scared of the Bulls?
I'm not scared of the Bulls.
Just say it.
Hold on, y'all. We got to get this dude named Mark C on the panel because he is steadily in the comments saying we all delusional and he's just a swami of basketball. He knows it all.
He's talking a lot of facts, though. He's talking a lot of facts.
Hold on. True. He got on you earlier, True.
No, that's Ghost Town.
Your boy said he detached from reality.
That's a Ghost Town, dude.
Hold on, let me drop the link for Mark C. Let's see if Mark C pulls up.
Real quick, whoever got the Sixers like 1 or 2 to win it, man, y'all got to explain more, please.
You hold it. You explaining not the Clippers number 2.
I got the Sixers
number 1. I got the Sixers number 1.
That's troll. He trolling, man. He don't believe that shit, man.
I can see that, but the Sixers.
Look at the camera with a straight face. Look at the camera with a straight face.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. You got Lakers top 5?
I got Sixers 1, Lakers 2.
I'm not, man. Everybody have a good night, man. Let's do that.
I can't get the Lakers that. I just can't.
Trey, you hear this, True?
I told him look in the camera with a straight face. He can't do it.
Hey, he got a right to his opinion.
No, Sixers got better, and they got.
Hold on, this bull fake. You want to take best, right? I take it. Warriors versus Bulls, right? I take the best.
Man, listen, we probably beat the Bulls by combined like 80 points next season, bro. That shit like that shit ain't even a fair bet. That shit not even a fair bet.
It shows that you're 12 years old too by saying shit like that.
First of all, last time I was 12, the Bulls still wasn't shit. That's the funny thing about it.
The first time we came to Boston and beat that ass last year, you was crying. We beat the hell out of them. You was crying.
But guess what, though? Hold on. But guess what? At the end of the day, when it all matters, listen, y'all. That's true. That's true.
Let me finish. And I'll let you go. Let me finish. The second time we played you guys, we went into overtime. Y'all beat us. The third time, y'all beat us again. You talking like y'all can blow the Bulls out, and you know you can't. I'm gonna bet you again. Every game the Bulls play against the Celtics, $100 per game.
Let's have whoever better season. Let's do that.
No, I'm not betting against the rest. I'm not. You trying to put other teams in? I want the Bulls and the Celtics. That's it.
Listen, only reason I'm not doing that because
that's a good bet.
Hold on.
You damn right.
But hold on.
I ain't betting against. Why would I bet against Brooklyn? They ain't in the equation.
Marvin, the Bulls had a losing record against the Celtics last year.
I know it. We lost 2 out of 3.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying.
That's why it's a good bet, Bill. Take the bet.
Easy money, bro.
And they got blown out the last game.
I know we did, and we was hurt. We was a half a team when we got blocked.
Robert Williams didn't play that game either, though. Matter of fact, let me look at that game. Who played that game? Because
make sure you look at the first game too. Make sure you look at the first game when Lonzo Ball broke his leg in your ass.
Ain't nobody worried about no fucking Lonzo Ball, bro. Nobody worried about no Lonzo Ball, bro.
Hey man, True, take the bet, man. Don't be scared.
I'll take the bet. I'll take the bet. I'll take the bet.
I bet if I was a Washington Wizards fan,
One at a time, y'all.
Say Lamont, I bet you if I was a Washington Wizard fan, he'd take the bet.
We can do the bet.
Hold on, True. Don't do it, man.
You got confidence in your team. Why not?
No, hold on. Here's the thing, though.
Hold on. Is this Mark C that just joined?
You better hear it.
Your mic is low, buddy. Your mic is low.
Y'all hear me? My bad on my side.
We got
Mark C, why? How are we all delusional, man?
Nah, bro, I'm just saying, like, the dudes having, like, Raptors in their dark horse and the Bulls over the Celtics, like, y'all just delusional. Y'all just talking.
Talk that shit, Mark.
How is that delusional?
Like, the fact that I even got to explain it. Like, the fact they even got to explain it, bro. Like, this should be common knowledge. How the fuck you got Raptors in your honorable mention? Celtics not in the top 5.
Because they won 48 games last year. That's why they got them in there.
What were they seeing last year?
You know what a wild card means?
I say again, because they won 48. Who is your team?
I'm just confused because that's what a wild card is. A team that's
all right. Who is your team? Who is your team? The Golden State Warriors? Because if not, you lost too.
You asking me?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm a Lakers fan.
Oh, you need to get the fuck off this panel then.
He's being real though. He's a fan of Celtics.
I knew that was coming.
Biased. I'm a basketball fan.
This man say Lakers
in the top 5, bro.
Hold on, you're a Bulls fan. You need to get up out this panel too.
No, I don't. I got something.
Hold on. Y'all gotta let Mark. Hold on. Y'all gotta let him cook.
Here's the thing. Like,
let Mark cook.
There's legitimately no reason to have the Bulls over the Celtics unless you're just talking. Like, I don't like. Do I even gotta explain it?
I can explain it. I give a reason.
Well, hold on, but the Bulls, when healthy, were one of the best teams in the NBA.
What's the record?
I got my hand raised. Lamar, hold up.
What's the record versus? They didn't beat no one last year. They lost to the team that Boston beat in like 5 games.
They were hurt.
Right.
Well, they definitely beat Boston.
Did you watch the NBA last year?
Boston went 2-1 against the Bulls, bro. Y'all don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
the Bulls.
I know they
Another
lost
thing,
two out of 3. Both the 2 games they lost, they didn't have Lonzo Ball in either one of those games that they lost.
Hold on, I got you, Mark.
Oh, give me a break, bro.
I mean, I'm
Give me a
not
break,
stating the fact the Bulls wasn't well down the stretch.
Did the
I'm
Bulls
not
ever
saying
beat
that they played
did the Bulls
well,
ever beat
but I bet
anybody?
you when they're healthy,
Hold on,
they're a
hold on,
real
Stacey.
formidable team.
No, sorry, that's not my bad.
Did the Celtics have Robert Williams in the Bucks series? Did Marcus Smart not miss a game? Defensive Player of the Year.
The
Like, we can do
Celtics
this
were
if
the
y'all really
least
want.
injured team last year,
Their
besides
2 best defensive
the
players
Charlotte
were
Hornets.
missing games throughout the playoffs.
The
Don't give me that,
Celtics
bro.
were the second
The
least
Warriors were
injured
the
team,
least hurt team. Warriors, bro.
and
What
the
is
I don't know
injured on
about
the
that,
Warriors?
Jason
man.
Tatum
Top
had a
5.
fractured wrist. Jason Tatum had a fractured wrist. If you want to
Who
talk
was
about it,
injured
it
on
is
the
what it
Warriors?
is.
Who was injured? No, answer me this. Who was
Gary
injured on the
Payton
Warriors
Jr.
throughout
was
the
injured.
playoffs?
Hold on, y'all. Y'all gotta go one at a time. Let Mark just came in. This is with Mark and Marvin.
All right, Mark, go
Let him
cook.
cook.
Go
All
cook.
right, man. Real quick. Fuck them celery sticks.
There you
Man,
go.
fuck out here, B.
All right, go ahead, Mark.
So what y'all want to hear? What y'all want?
All
I
right,
mean,
I
I just
Y'all want
want.
my top 5? Y'all want my top 5?
Yeah,
Go
let's hear
ahead.
your top
Draymond
5.
All
Wade.
right. Warriors
Lakers.
won. No. See, I'm not delusional, bro. I'm not biased. Y'all Bulls fans are biased as shit. But I got Warriors 1, Celtics 2, Bucks 3, and then 4 and 5 is I'm fine with a lot of different teams. But me personally, I got Clippers, and then I'm fine if you want to put the Nuggets or Sixers or Heat there. Those are all teams generally in the same tier.
That's
Bulls,
just
Bulls,
chalk.
no.
That's just chalk, though.
He brings 2
That's just
teams
what?
in that was
I'm
injured
saying
like crazy.
that's all just chalk.
Yeah.
What is?
What I'm saying is, it's easy to. The easiest thing to do is to look at the top teams after the playoffs ended last year. Warriors,
No,
Celtics.
I'm looking at the rosters now, bro. If the Celtics didn't trade for Brogdon or Gallinari, I wouldn't have them over the Bucks. I'm looking at the rosters right now.
But hold on. With the Celtics, though, I don't think Jaylen Brown wants to be on that team no more.
Okay, that's just talk, bro. Like, you're just assuming shit.
What
about Zach LaVine? I heard Zach LaVine. Or actually, never mind. He signed that contract.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, listen
He corrected himself, y'all. He corrected himself.
See, like,
Do you have any proof that Jaylen Brown
Hold
is
on,
on the
but
Celtics?
hold on, Lamont. He should have never even mentioned Zach LaVine's name. He should have never even mentioned that name.
I corrected myself 2 seconds after, bro.
He stay hurt a lot too.
Who's
Zach
that?
LaVine stay hurt a lot too.
Now I'm not even going to address that because
we know, like when players are names is thrown in trade requests and all that, they lose trust with the
How
front
much you want to bet that Jaylen Brown don't leave the Celtics? How about that? How much you want to bet?
I read a report saying that Jaylen Brown.
No, everybody want to be quiet.
I don't believe
everybody be
Hold
quiet.
on, y'all. We got to
Wait a
go
minute.
one at a time.
Whoa. What did you just say, Mark? You heard a report? What?
Yeah, there's a report that he wants to be in Boston. Like, you got to take these reports.
Hold on. Who wants to be in Boston?
Jaylen Brown.
What?
He's not going nowhere.
Where'd you hear that from?
Jaylen Brown's not leaving.
How much you want to bet that he resigns? How about that?
Yeah, he's not leaving the Celtics. He's going to be there.
How many conference finals Jaylen Brown been in with the Celtics? Like 4, and he's played 6
Yeah, like
years.
4. Yeah, like 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. When Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum are all healthy, when have they not gone to the conference finals in their career? Besides that one Kyrie year.
That's a good point.
Wait a minute. Whoa,
no. Speaking facts.
No, when they
speaking
talk
facts.
about wait.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Let him cook. Let him cook.
Wait a minute. When they lost to LeBron. When they lost to LeBron,
they made the conference finals. I said conference finals.
Are we talking about the conference finals being the pinnacle? That ain't shit. They talk about championship.
Hold on, bro. But you can't. But you a Bulls fan. When last time y'all been to the conference finals though? Come on, you can't say that.
Listen,
Y'all.
You in the same boat as we are. You nothing.
You can't. But
the Bulls. I'm not saying the Bulls are a bad team, but they're in a tier with the Raptors, the Cavs, and the Hawks. Okay, they aren't East contenders.
With health concerns, the Bulls are one of the best teams in the league. Celtics are.
Hold on, so
also,
let me.
Miami
Let's break. Hold on, let's do a simple breakdown. Hold on, let's do a simple breakdown. Who has more? Who has more talent, the Celtics or the Bulls?
The Celtics.
The Bulls.
The Bulls. The
No,
Bulls
we're
got more
not doing
talent.
that. That's
The
crazy.
Bulls.
Celtics.
That's
The
The
Bulls
crazy.
Celtics got more
Lamar,
talent.
go down the list.
That's
The
I
Bulls
can
crazy.
got
come on
way
here
more
as a Laker
talent.
fan.
LeBron
The
James don't give a fuck.
Celtics.
LeBron
The
James need
Celtics
more.
got more
Hold
talent.
on. Let me just go through the
If you a
rosters.
Bulls fan,
Yeah,
like
let them
stop
know.
talking.
Let
You
them
know what
know,
I mean?
Lamar.
'Cause
They just
Just start
talking.
with
They
your
just
starting
talking.
lineups first. Start with
Hold
your
on.
starting
I
lineups
will. I got you.
Man, the
You
Celtics
said
got more
talent.
talent.
You said
Hold
talent.
on. I think the Bulls
more
have the
talent, more
deepest
chemistry.
roster in the
One of the
NBA.
best
But
talent teams in
Okay,
the
Yes,
hold
NBA.
on, Marvin. Hold on. Let me run through the roster. You got DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso,
Spit their
Ayo.
numbers.
What'd you say?
Spit their numbers so he'll know who's talented and who's not.
I mean, we know
We
talented
don't
players
gotta
in the
do all
numbers.
that. We know.
Hold on. So
I
hold
can
on.
make a case that there's like 3 or 4 teams who have the deepest
Hold
roster.
on, y'all. Hold on. Let
Come
me
on,
get
man.
through
Let
the
him get to
roster.
the roster, man. Yeah. Damn, what you
Hold
doing?
on.
Y'all can't hush.
We got Lonzo.
Bro, I know the Bulls roster.
No, I'm just saying for the people that
Now
don't.
everybody, everybody may
Sometimes
not know.
it's a difference between
All right, go ahead.
just saying it and then once you hear it, you might change it. So you got Lonzo Ball, Caruso. I think that's solid. DeMar DeRozan, Ayo DeSumo, Goran Dragic, Andre Drummond, Javante Green, who was a starter for him most of the year, Derek Jones Jr., Zach LaVine. Now they have Dalen Terry, Vucevic, Kobe White, and Patrick Williams. That's their core. When we go to the Celtics, we can just get to the Celtics here. So let's see who the Celtics got.
I can read it off if you want. I know the roster.
And you got to think with the Celtics. I don't know if they addressed their biggest problem last year in the finals was they had no depth. So I don't know if they addressed it with Malcolm Brogdon alone.
They got Gallinari and Brogdon, bro.
He's hurt.
I know, but in your consideration, we have to at least temporarily remove Gallinari from the situation.
And
He's
hurt.
How we can do that? We can add Lonzo Ball.
Exactly. And first
because
of all,
he's not out.
But he's
He
not
can't
out.
do that, bro. Lonzo Ball got chronic knee problems right now. We can't.
No,
you can't do that. You
we
can't
don't
do
have
that,
chronic
bro.
knee
Gallinari got hurt the other day. That's the difference.
Gallinari literally just got hurt yesterday.
Hold on. When's Lonzo Ball reported?
Hold on.
Is Lonzo Ball clear to play contact,
y'all
bro?
not know how the timeline for
That's
meniscus
your hope
injuries?
that Lonzo's not healthy. He's hoping.
I know. Hold on. We know
That's,
meniscus.
we can't. We gonna do that. You gotta take Lonzo out too. If we want.
Hold on.
Do that.
Okay. Hold on. Let's go to the. We'll count Gallinari. Don't worry. So we got Brogdon, Jaylen Brown. I don't know if I really want to count JD Davison. I think he's going to be in the G League.
No,
he's a two-way player. You don't gotta count him. He's a two-way player.
Okay, hold on. We got Gallinari, Horford, Peyton Pritchard, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Derek White, Grant Williams, and Robert Williams. That's really their core. If you want to count some of the other guys like Luke Cornett,
Yeah,
Sam
Bruno.
Hauser.
I know they signed as Bruno, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
You signed the Bulls leftovers. That Bruno guy.
Man, the Celtics got a better roster.
Don't they? What are you talking about? The
The
Bulls
Celtics don't have a better roster, y'all.
Yes, they do. The Celtics got a better roster.
Crack cocaine, bro. Y'all on crack
Celtics
cocaine.
definitely got a better roster. Easily got a better roster.
Okay, Lamont. That's the case, Lamont. Then why he won't bet who has a better regular season? Then let's do that. If they got a better talented roster, and they was number one last year at one point, why he can't make that bet for who have a better regular season then? If that's
because
the case.
I'm betting against your team. Since you want to talk that shit about the Celtics, I'm gonna show you how the Bulls break.
We can make that bet. We can make that bet. That's easy money. That's easy money.
There we go.
We on that the last 2 times.
And you know what? I can tell you just talk because you'd have been making.
I don't talk.
We
can bet $50. We can bet 50. We can bet 50. Hold on. We can bet.
But you know, hold on. But let's be fair. Hold on. Let's be fair.
Because
I want to move on. I want to move on. But to be fair, it's. I think the Bulls are good enough to be at least in the conversation. I don't think it's far fetched to include them in the conversation.
So that's what I said.
Who's a better head coach? How about who's the better?
No, we're not. We're about to move off that. I'm just saying it's not far fetched to include the Bulls in the conversation.
It is. They haven't got better.
Not as contenders. Maybe a dark horse. I'll give you dark horse at best.
No. Yeah, and I can give you, but I don't think anybody here has had the Bulls. I think maybe one person had the Bulls in their top
I
5.
heard someone say like the Bulls were in their like borderline top 5.
That was me.
All right, that's.
Wait a minute. Who is the Bulls head coach?
Billy Donovan.
Oh, okay.
I got to roll. I got to roll the
somebody
mine.
else
So I'm
was
just going to
capping
say this
too.
on my way
Remember,
out.
the
Listen, I'm not here.
Bulls.
I'm not here to. I got to roll the mine. So I just want to say this on my way out. I'm not here to argue. I know the Celtics are good. I know the Bulls are good. But I'm saying this: the Celtics took off late in the season last year, and everybody's acting like they were just almighty the whole year. They played well. They played. Let me finish. They played well in the second half. They ran out of gas in the finals. They're not sneaking up on nobody that's coming up here, guys.
Nobody wasn't beating the Warriors. I don't care who's what. Nobody wasn't beating the Warriors in the finals. Nobody. I don't care what team would have came out the East. They weren't beating the Warriors.
I think the Bucks would have had a chance.
No, they wouldn't. Not without Middleton. Not without
You know
Middleton.
what I'm saying? If
Hell
Middleton
no.
was playing,
Not
they would have
without
had a
Middleton.
shot.
Hold up, Mingo. I said if healthy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right, yeah. Okay, you got
All
to point that in.
Philadelphia.
You got to point that in. You got to point that in since you said it that way.
Yep.
You got to point. You got to point. I can't argue.
Bucks 3.
You got to point.
Hold on, Mark. I want to hear your full list again because I didn't hear it all.
All right, Warriors 1. I got Celtics 2, Bucks 3, but that's a toss up to me. And then for 4 and 5, it's like you could put like 4 or 5 different teams interchangeable in 4 and 5 between like Sixers, Nuggets, Heat, Grizzlies.
No.
They're all
Who's
the
your
same
four? Who's your 4 and 5?
No, he's just saying that the last two you could go with a lot of different.
Yeah, but if y'all had to make me choose, I would say Clippers and I don't know, because like if we assuming Jamal Murray coming back healthy, then I got to put the Nuggets there.
Mm. But they're gonna need Michael Porter
Nuggets for some
Jr.
reason, man.
They're gonna need Michael Porter Jr. They to be a true contender for the Nuggets to be a true contender. They're gonna need Michael Porter Jr.
And Aaron Gordon too.
Hey, bro, all I can tell you this is y'all can talk about some Embiids. The only nigga trying to see Jokic is Giannis. Ain't nobody else fucking with Joker in the league.
Embiid.
Hold on, Draymond Green did a good job of containing them.
He did.
I disagree with that.
Hey, he averaged like 33, 9, and 12. Right.
And what about
I don't know if that was his average.
When the Sixers played them, they stumped
check
them,
his
bro.
average for that playoff series, Lamont. He had some 40s and he went off for that series, bro.
Jokic is a monster, bro.
I'm gonna be honest.
He
with
might be
you,
the
bro.
best
In
offensive
the
player.
Western Conference, that's the one guy I'm afraid of, bro. Is Jokic, bro. That's the only guy I'm really.
The problem is he ain't got no help.
That's why I said Jamal Murray. If he's back healthy, I got the Nuggets 4.
Hold on.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, so look, he definitely. Let's see. Hold on. Where's points? Okay, so he did game 1, 25, but he had a horrible plus minus. Game 2, 26, and then game 5 he dropped 30.
What about 3 and 4?
The fact that they were the
37
6th
both of them.
Yeah.
Who was his second best teammate, bro? Monte Morris was this guy's second best teammate. Monte Morris.
What do you average? Like 30, 12, and 8?
Yeah, he had a monster number. He had monster stat line.
Do Embiid versus him when they played.
Bro, we not trying to say, bro, I'm just telling you.
Nah.
Look, Ralph.
Yeah, I don't like doing the head-to-head.
Ralph, here's what I'm trying to tell you. This is what makes Joker such a problem. Embiid in them playoff series, he cannot pass the
he
ball
shrinks.
and get people into the game. Like
y'all want to hear a crazy stat about Embiid?
He can't pass the ball, but he's the second leader in assists on the team.
Listen, bro. Joker will kill you in a playoff series. He can beat you without scoring.
Y'all want to hear a crazy Embiid stat?
But he can't if his teammates not scoring.
What's
so
the Embiid?
Don't matter.
Hold on, what's the stat? And I better get to Mac that.
All right, every single playoffs of Embiid's career, he's averaged more turnovers than assists.
Wow.
Every single year in the playoffs.
I've heard that stat before. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that's why I would never put him over Joker.
Neither would I.
Right.
I still think Giannis the best though. Ain't none of them better than Giannis.
I agree.
I agree with Giannis too.
Two for
He's a center, man. Nobody said that about Karl Malone. Let me get my top 5.
Hold on, man. One more statement, then you can go. Like I said, bro, if Jamal Murray is 85% of what he was, they gonna be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Not without Michael Porter Jr.
Bro,
That's where they can get stuff at.
Look, I saw Luka do what he did last year. If Joker has even 2/3 of that talent Dallas had, they gonna be a problem.
KCP's a great role player.
Go ahead,
I think
Mac.
Denver.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what I think?
Denver.
Bees, I want to say one thing, and I'm gonna let Mac Des get it. I think with Denver, I think their biggest strength in the playoffs becomes their biggest weakness because Jokic does everything literally. And in the playoffs, when you have that one player that's just that kind of do-it-all type guy, similar to Luka, it's like a limit to how far you can go in the playoffs with that. Because once you start playing against the top 10 teams in the league,
I agree with that, Lamont, but you got recency bias in that statement. See, he's a do-it-all by himself because of injuries has forced him to the last 2 years.
so you're saying his help's gonna be
Second
back.
best player was Monte
His
Morris.
help's gonna be back,
Okay.
right?
That's
So
the key for them.
if you go back to 2020 when him and Jamal played off each other, hey, them,
Yeah,
weren't
that's
the
right.
ones that sent the Clippers home?
Yep.
That's if people don't
Put them
realize that.
niggas
Jamal
on.
Murray killed us.
They got Doc Rivers fired.
And they ain't played a playoff series since then. They've been hurt.
Yeah, that's
And
why
that's
I
what I'm
think.
saying. They still make the playoffs. So with
All
Jokic,
right,
bro,
go
he
ahead,
actually
Mac.
gonna get those guys easy looks, man.
Go
All
ahead,
right,
Ian.
my top 5. I'm gonna go with the Warriors, Bucks, Celtics. Top 3.
What was that?
Calling from
Yeah,
jail.
well, we know he's still in time. I know he's still in
Bro,
time.
you talking about average more
Can I
turnovers?
finish? Hold on.
National security, bro.
Top three is on point so far. Top three is on point
Hold
so
on.
far.
Warriors 1, Bucks 2, Celtics 3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt if they healthy. The Clippers 4, and I'm taking Luka and Dallas Mavericks 5. I don't care what nobody say. Luka in the playoffs is a problem.
All right, just stop filibustering and just say your shit, bro.
I said my top 5, nigga. Now
Hold on. So you got Dallas. Hold on. So you got Dallas
over Denver, yes. Memphis as well, yes. Luka's a problem. I'm taking Luka over them.
And the Sixers and the Nets and all them.
Yes, the Nets. Are you serious?
Jalen Brunson
the
did
Sixers.
so much for them, though.
Hold on, time out. The Sixers with Joel Embiid with a hurt stomach and James Harden. Choke artist. The choke artist James Harden and Joel Embiid with his stomach ache. Yeah, I'm
No,
taking
I said
Brunson.
I mean, but man, I don't know. I don't know.
Why?
No. Who's the number 2 on Dallas though? Who's the number 2 on Dallas though?
Christian Wood.
Spencer Dinwiddie. We're not
No,
going to act like
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson's just that guy.
Christian Wood, bro. You I don't know.
Jalen Brunson averaged 21 in the playoffs.
Hey, I got a question.
Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks ain't making the playoffs, nigga. Stop.
Hey,
I never mentioned the Knicks.
Yeah.
What's up,
Don't
Bees?
act like
He didn't even mention the Knicks, man.
Portland challenge for the 7th, 8th spot during the regular
Damian
season.
Lillard making the playoffs.
Hell no.
This is what I told people about Portland. This is my team. Portland will overachieve and get washed in the first round. This is what they do. When Portland stays healthy, they always overachieve in the regular season. They surprise people. They convince people that they might be able to win a playoff series, but they're going to go up against a team that can slow the game down, eliminate the threes, and then just wash them in the first round. That's what's going to happen.
All right.
They
You know your
overachieve.
team better than everybody, so I agree with you.
Damian Lillard gonna make the playoffs. I keep on telling you. The Lakers ain't making the playoffs.
Man, that nigga won a Grammy before he won a playoff series this year, nigga.
The reason why I asked that question is because if Portland gets in, right?
Yeah.
I'm following.
Either the Lakers, Pelicans, Timberwolves, and who's the 14? Memphis don't. So out of those
It's gonna
4
be-
teams, Who's out?
The Pelicans.
No. For
The
me,
Pelicans are not making a play.
For me, Bees, it would have been the Grizzlies.
You tripping?
And this is because they lost.
You put yourself in backstage on your own.
They lost. Hold on. They lost Slow Mo. They lost. They're starting to lose the core that helped them be great last year. And Jaren Jackson's out to start the season.
Is Desmond Bain still on the Memphis Grizzlies?
They take the biggest step back.
Is who?
Yeah, Desmond Bain is still there. Yes.
Okay, so John Moran and Desmond Bain. Stop it.
Two niggas for a whole team?
Unfortunately, 2 players will not get you there.
Dylan Brooks.
So take Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. And
I like Dylan Brooks. I like Dylan Brooks.
To be fair, speaking of Dylan Brooks, though, to be fair though, Dylan Brooks missed a lot of games last season. For them, they still was winning. So if he come back, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, my thing is this: I think the Timberwolves will be the 7th seed, and I think they will be the 8th seed. The Pelicans and the Lakers don't make it.
We were a 7th seed this year. We gonna say you're gonna be the same team this year?
I don't know. Y'all
Hold on. First of all, we have a Timberwolves fan on the panel.
I'm from Minnesota, nigga.
Okay. I see that. I mean, everybody's from Cleveland. Don't make them. Okay, never mind.
We get our bandwagon.
My point is with the Timberwolves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think y'all gonna be better than the Suns, the Grizzlies, the Warriors.
But why?
The Dallas Mavericks.
Why? You can just have a feel. Is it just a feeling? And there's nothing back to that feeling up.
No, the reason I don't think you guys will be better is because y'all snuck up on teams. Y'all wasn't playing last year. Y'all snuck up on. Everybody's not going to be, on their hands and feet waiting for y'all. They're going to be ready for y'all when y'all come to town.
You understand?
That's why y'all going to have a.
We were 2 games behind.
Rudy Gobert is not. Bro, Rudy Gobert is not that guy.
What's the point of bringing up his passing when they got a passing point guard?
That's a bad take. It's
not a bad take.
Timberwolves is good money. Y'all in the playoffs now.
The point of bringing that up was when 2 years ago in the playoffs, that everybody blamed Ben Simmons, and he has a big part to do with that. Nate McMillan showed you that you could scheme Embiid right out the damn game in the 4th quarter. And they did it consistently because Embiid could not complete passes, regular passes that this nigga should be able to make. He just kept live ball turnovers.
Okay, he still did that. If you say last year, and he still washed the Raptors.
Look, bro.
And if he wasn't injured, he would have washed the Miami Heat.
Listen, I don't care about what I'm telling you is when he gets up against legitimate coaches, and if you go back 2 years ago, some of this is on Doc Rivers. Nate McMillan schemed the shit out of Doc Rivers in that series.
Doc Rivers ain't a good coach.
At Embiid, if you go back and count the turnovers in that series, bro, he had
30-some
turnovers, and like 20 of them came in the 4th quarter.
That is true. And everybody blamed Ben Simmons.
You can't.
It was Ben Simmons' fault.
Hey, the
If nigga got 30-some turnovers in the series, bro, come on, bro.
7 turnovers in the 4th quarter.
He's not supposed to be dribbling the ball.
Bro, if you turn the ball over that rate, you can get subbed out. You can get kicked out the game. Like you can't.
I'm listening. There's them niggas talking in the background.
No, I'm saying that's a problem, and it's got to be addressed. For Philly to actually be able to do something, that number's got to be 1 or 2 in the 4th.
Okay, so what did they do to force Embiid in all those turnovers?
I don't know what they did. I just know that they was turning it over. So I have to go back and watch the action.
Because I know they're not going to
have the ball in his hands.
They're not going to bench Joel Embiid, but they, like I said, they did add PJ Tucker, which I think is a bigger move than people give it credit for. Daniel
Better what they
House.
had, I'll give him that.
How much better is PJ Tucker than Danny Green?
That still wasn't as
Hold
high
on.
as
I couldn't hear what his question was. Go ahead. What was that question about?
How much better is PJ Tucker than Danny Green? He's a little better, but is it really that much of an upgrade?
I think it's better because of the different positions. I think the PJ Tucker move is a relief valve defensively off of Embiid. So the tough defensive assignments that Embiid was forced to take because of his size, you can give those assignments now to PJ Tucker, and it kind of allows Embiid more free to roam, maybe be that help defender, and have a little bit more energy on offense. But I think that's the main benefit of having Tucker there. He's going to do all the dirty work.
I mean, they still got Thibault.
Yes, they still got Thibault.
Unplayable in the playoffs, so.
Yeah, but Thibault was starting to become an extreme liability.
One of them top 4 teams in the East is going to get upset, bro. Y'all putting too much stock in it.
Until they move, what's his name?
Who, Tobias Harris?
Yeah, till they get that nigga off the team.
Nah, he's still there.
They gotta move him.
Man, it's a fucking hell they do.
Coaching is a problem too. I don't trust Doc Rivers.
Hey, Lamont.
That's why they gonna get upset.
Tobias Harris isn't good enough to command the amount of shots he gets.
Yes, I think they need to find a way to get Maxey those shots instead of him, because I think Maxey should be the third go-to scorer on that team, not Tobias.
Yeah.
But you have to trade. I think at this point, you got to trade Tobias. You got to find a way to trade him because
he's making that much money. He's making that much money on the court. He's going to get fucking.
I'm talking about that man shot. He's a 51% fucking field goal percentage.
He ain't 51 in the playoff.
Who Tobias Harris?
Last year, well, what you talking about? He was a 48% last year. And then,
bro, he's not. That nigga not.
50
He
last
is
year.
not. He is. Tobias Harris is not
So what
reliable.
are you talking about, bro?
He just not reliable, bro.
I don't know why you trying to you trying to defend Tobias Harris.
Yo, they don't give it to him.
I just don't see any realistic trades out there.
They talking about that hair. You seen that Harrison Barnes?
Somebody has an echo, y'all. Somebody does have an echo.
I think it's Mac Def.
I think it is too.
You think you seen that? I seen that Harrison Barnes. I seen like a rumor that Harrison Barnes trade.
He don't move neither either.
I mean, he's more consistent. I'll trust that nigga.
If you replace him, if you put Harrison Barnes in, I think he's a better defender.
He's a better rebounder. He's a better rebounder, defender. He's a better shooter,
and he's more consistent shot maker.
And the other thing, he's not going to complain about not getting his shots.
Good point.
He know his role. He knows his role. He been in situations before. You know what I mean?
Good point, Charles.
I know. Jason Tatum. I mean, he's a higher field goal percentage shooting than Jason Tatum.
What, Ralph?
What's that supposed to mean, though?
We're talking about.
We're talking about a leader versus a role player.
Hey, Ralph. We're talking about how your team
exactly
gets better and actually has a chance to compete. If you think the Sixers are good enough right now to win the chip, you're mistaken.
I think they are.
I just don't trust Doc Williams. Doc Rivers.
They could have almost won last year if Doc didn't do that dumb shit with Raptors.
Exactly. I don't trust Doc Rivers.
It was beating Miami, point blank.
I don't trust that nigga as a coach.
They went 2-2 versus Miami.
He's the only coach to lose 2 series, up 3-1. He's the only coach to ever do that. Up 3-1 and still lose.
They definitely would have beat the Celtics.
Yeah, and y'all boys who's filling up. Listen, Doc Rivers has lost 3-2 leads and 3-3-1 leads. Bro.
Right.
That's the most in NBA history ever.
Hey, let me ask you a question. If it's Doc Rivers' fault, then you should easily be able to point to the things he should have changed schematically to win the game. Because I don't know what he could have did different. Okay. He had the best players on the floor. He was in a system where they had regular season success. What do you want him to change in the middle of the playoffs that they weren't doing all season that got them there? It's generally
you got to make adjustments in the playoffs.
You got to make adjustments.
You don't go deeper in the roster, Lamont.
Bro, but most of these series are swayed on one or two plays, not
Toronto went 5 out.
To be fair for Doc, but like I said before. I mean, y'all see what you're trying to say. I'm seeing what you're trying to say, Lamont, but it's not coincidence that he underachieves. He's been on a lot of underachieved moments in the past 10 years.
Hey, not to cut you off, Drew. Hey, salute Thanks for having me on, Lamont. Salute to everybody
All
on
right,
the
though,
panel.
B. Okay.
All right, Biz.
But like, look, we can't. I'm not gonna sit and say it's all Doc Rivers' fault because that's not totally true, right? You can't just do that. But the past 10 years, he's had a lot of underachieving moments. A lot of underachieving moments.
But he has all these moments, but he keeps getting hired for big time jobs.
Listen, he ain't no bum coach. Listen, he ain't no bum coach, and he's done. Listen, he has. How many current coaches have won an NBA title? So I mean, listen, he had the resume. You know what I mean? He win games in the regular season. Of course, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna put any other coach like what other coach right now that'd be good for the job right now. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, they gotta do something. I mean, I don't know if the roster. I mean, well, Darren Moore got. I mean, they got PJ Tucker, but PJ Tucker's only a corner 3-point shooter. So you that's going to be. I mean, you try to put that with Matisse Thybulle on the court at the same time. You know what I mean? These people can scheme on that easily.
Who took him out last year?
He could have played Court Miles more last year too.
That's what I was wondering as well. I don't know why he stopped playing Korkmaz and
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like little things like that. Like he don't trust.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either because I thought Korkmaz he's not a great defender, but he's not a horrible, atrocious.
He played.
If Doc don't trust you, if Doc don't trust you, like, I don't know if Doc is
He's
a trust
underrated
thing.
athletically too.
That's what I mean. It's this little adjustment.
Yeah, I get y'all about Kork. I was saying that to myself about Korkmaz last year. I said,
I know. I'm gonna did the stream. We was talking about that right after they lost.
Yeah, that was.
I don't know. In James Harden, like I don't know. Like
James got better, man.
Here's the thing about James Harden too. Like I don't like his play style in the playoffs is just not effective at all. Like him, because when he don't have the ball in his hands, he just sits there in the wing in the corner. It's like you're not making the defense work because you're not going because you have mind you nowadays because now the ball's more in B's hands now. So it's like okay, you can have a B's right there, and then you just sitting there, not putting no pressure on the defense, moving out the ball. I don't know.
And then he broke that tandem up of Tyrese Maxey and Shake. I understand Shake came off injury, but you throw him back in there, them two can work together.
Y'all can upgrade from Shake though. I don't know why Sixers fan be hype on Shake Milton.
I mean, Shake's a cheap option right now. I don't think they really paying him.
Yo, Shake can be one.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm just saying,
man,
bro, he's not like y'all can upgrade on that, bro. Y'all gotta stop that, man. Shake ain't all that. Shake a good practice player, man. He's good at giving people looks and practice and stuff, man.
You can benefit. Y'all Celtics can benefit off him other than
before
paying Pritchard.
That's an A. Nah.
Better than Pritchard.
I'm gonna be real with you. He probably wouldn't even play for the Celtics.
I don't know. Pritchard was Payton Pritchard was showing me some stuff last year. He was Payton
Pritchard can be a good role player in the NBA. I think he can be a good, solid role player in the NBA.
I think getting Malcolm Brogdon was good for y'all.
His ceiling is like a Patty Mills. I can see Payton Pritchard like a Patty Mills type of. You know what I mean? I can see that from him.
I think he can be 40%.
Yeah, because his handles. Can you think of his handles?
Because of his handle, he can do more with the ball, way more with the ball. Like
once he got
his rhythm, and I was seeing him hit people with step back.
He's fearless too, man. One thing I like about him is he's fearless too as a shooter. That's what I like about he's fearless.
Yeah, he won't turn down any open look. He gonna take his shot.
That's his job. If he ain't hitting shots, you know what I mean.
He can shoot it deep. Yeah, I think that's an underrated quality. Yeah,
I think it was game 1 versus the Warriors. They don't win game 1 without Payton Pritchard.
Oh yeah, he went off. Yeah, him and Al Horford went off.
Derek White too.
They all went off. Derek White went off.
Derek White got to get a jumper together though, man. The good thing having Malcolm Brogdon too is having Derek White more off ball, but he's not really a real point guard like that. He can play a little point guard. But like his jumper was just off when he came to us though. But to be fair though, I know his wife had a baby and all that stuff too. And you getting traded.
Miami exposed y'all ball handling. Y'all don't have a lot of good ball handlers.
To be fair though, Jaylen Brown handling
that's why they got Brogdon.
The reason why Jaylen Brown handles was like that last year. If you notice, Jaylen Brown handles was getting better. But remember, the hand injury he didn't have an off season coming into last season. So we'll see. I think that's probably what it was. His handle digressed
I
last
agree
year.
with that ball handling, lack thereof.
I couldn't
I
believe
agree
y'all
with
got
that.
Brogdon, bro.
But here's the thing: you add in Brogdon,
Hold on, what they give up to get him?
Nothing.
Daniel Tyson,
Nothing.
a bunch of people that wasn't playing.
Fucking Naismith, whoever the fuck that was.
Malik Fitz.
Hold on, Naismith was True to King's favorite player.
Look. I think Naismith still. You know what? And I'm gonna say this. I think Naismith still can be good. The problem with Naismith was he wasn't doing what he got drafted for.
Hold on, I wonder. Hey, don't this blow y'all? Like when you look at like the trade when the Portland gave up Covington and Norman.
I wasn't high off no Covington.
How did these teams able to get him for so cheap? Like, why don't these other teams make these deals and get the player if it's that cheap?
Well, I think negotiations. You know what it is, though. Negotiations, man. Negotiations. And mind you, Brad Stevens got Indiana ties also. He got Indiana ties. You know what I mean? My man Rick was the coach.
Carlisle.
Blake. Carlisle. He got Celtics ties. It's things like that do play a part when it comes to negotiation and trade sometimes. You can't. I mean,
that's how they got KG.
Kevin. A lot of things.
Already got Celtics ties.
Kind of why they got KG.
That's not always necessarily the case, but it help. It'll definitely help. Shoot.
I just think Indiana wanted to get off Malcolm's contract. They wanted to get off dude's contract.
Yeah, but his contract wasn't that bad.
It's $20 million.
But they got first round pick for it too, though. They got first round pick draft.
You gotta think Brogdon is worth $20 million a year.
Yeah, but they got Halliburton. They don't need him. If you trying to
to be fair, you could play Tyrese Halliburton and Malcolm Brogdon at the same time.
Yeah, you can play them together. They kind of complement each other.
But they trying to rebuild though, Lamar. But they trying to do like a whole rebuild too, though.
Yeah, you trying to tank, and you just drafted, a couple.
Malcolm Brogdon probably don't want to be part of that. So it's like a mutual agreement.
Oh, Jason,
you know what I mean?
Jason said it. I got to get my thoughts on OKC. I got you. We about to shut it down right now, anyway. Jason, I can give it to you on our way out. Hold on. Hey, y'all, man. Look, we got to shut this panel down, man. I definitely appreciate everybody.
It's been fun,
up, though. To the live conversation. We're gonna be live again. Hold on, who said that? Your mic is messing up, Kobe.
All right, fellas, it's been fun.
Go ahead. My fault. Go ahead.
All right, I appreciate you, MC, for pulling up, man. A lot of people, man, they talk crazy in the chat, man. They don't pull up. You got to give him his props, man. He definitely pulled up, man.
Mark was cooking, man.
Those Bulls fans were talking crazy. They was talking crazy.
Hey, but definitely pull up on the next one, man. We cover a lot of different topics, man. So make sure you subscribe, hit that notification, man. Pull up on the next one, man. I'll try to have a solid conversation, man. Salute to Ralph and True to King, man. Both pulling up as well.
Yes,
sir. All right. Peace. All right, y'all. We go. Like I said, we got to shut it down today. And Jason, for your question, my thoughts on OKC and Holmgren. Basically, I mean, when you get a number one pick, you have to kind of turn into a babysitter, especially when you're dealing with gym rats like Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren was a gym rat, and he just was. I don't know why. I mean, I can understand these guys wanting to play a little bit of this pro-am ball. But Chet Holmgren was playing it like every week. He was just doing it too much. And so I think he's just that type of player that where he feels like no matter where he's hooping at, he has to try to show you that he's the best player on the floor. And so he just, he put himself in a compromising situation, got hurt, and now he's out for the season. And, good thing for OKC, they were never trying to win anyway. And maybe they can go make a push to get the Victor guy out of France. I don't know, but I think definitely other teams in the league are going to start to tighten up on these pro-am leagues because you can't have your first round draft pick out here in these pro-am leagues getting hurt. That's what you can't have. So this because of that injury, this might be the last summer where we see a lot of these NBA players participating in these pro-am leagues publicly at least, because it can jeopardize an entire season, as we just saw. E. Gibson said, thanks for a good stream. Hey, man, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up to the stream, man. Definitely good conversation, man. I appreciate let me give my shout-outs to everybody that donated. Hold on, let me do this real quick, because I know I had a few incoming donations. Might only have one or two. Can't remember. All right, salute to Harry in the Cash App. Make sure y'all also put y'all YouTube name as well, so I can give you a proper shout out. But it says salute to Harry in the Cash App as well, man. Thank you for supporting the channel, man. Really good stream today. Salute to Jason for pulling up. E. Gibson, Tiffany Knapp, see you in the chat. LVZ came through, dropped some hot takes. We got Mark C. He pulled up. Salute to Nicholas Brown, a solid moderator, man. Again, man, it's just about having the good conversations. But this upcoming week, we're gonna get back to doing our uploads on this channel. So we got a ton of uploads coming, man. So make sure you are tuning in, subscribe, so you get all that information as we drop it. But man, hey y'all, it's been a great stream. Make sure y'all tune in to FYF Sports Live as well, because we're gonna be doing our lives on FYF Sports Live uploads here. And definitely follow me and Abel Mahardy on Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to your audio podcast. Make sure you subscribe and follow us, FYF Sports, on those podcasts as well, because that's our daily commute show, right? And that's where Abel is really able to expound upon some of these other topics, baseball, football, and just go into other sports, unlike what we do here on this platform here on YouTube. But it's FYF Sports, man. Another great podcast episode. We will be back. More sports and news. Until then, it's FYF Sports, y'all. And we out, man. Appreciate it.
All I hear is yap, 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 yap. Ain't talking about nothing, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch the cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. All know, shop don't close, working 24, trying to make the channel grow. Look at them, pointing fingers, hating on the low. You can't compete with our podcast show. Couldn't make it in the league, so we got on TV. Crying by LeBron like a little baby. You must be crazy, trying to ever play me. Or you super tough until it's time to say cheese. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. Just a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feet.